pagtyaga sa pagkain, ngayon ay huwag mangamba. SBFP, GPP, may nutrient pa. Sa pangarap mo'y ilalapit ka, ilalapit ka. Dahil sagot ka na ng school-based feeding program, katuwangang nutrient. At mula yan sa paaralan, gawing laging makulay. School-based feeding program, basta't masustansyang gulay ihain. Nutrition education palaganapin, gutom at malnutrisyon matutuldukan din. Matutuldukan din. Matutuldukan din. Matutuldukan din. Kasiguruhan sa pagkain, kailan makakanta. Problema sa malnutrisyon, kailan mawawakasan. Huwag nang pag-isipan pa, magsipag at magtyaga. Sagot sa problema'y nasa paaralan na. Magkaagapay sa mithiin, paaralan at mamamayan. Tulong-tulong na pagyamanin, gulayan sa paaralan. Huwag nang pag-alala, magsikap at magtyaga. Hanap mong kalusugan, ngayon ay tiyak na. Dahil sagot ka na ng school-based feeding program, katuwangang nutrient. At gulayan sa paaralan, gawing laging makulay. School-based feeding program, basta't masustansyang gulay ihain. Nutrition education palaganapin, gutom at malnutrisyon matutuldukan din. Ang feeding program ng paaralan, laging inaabangan. Sa munting tinig ng kabataan, dinig ang kasiyahan. Kaya't tumayo and sense of gardener, and more nutrient pa. Ito ang solusyon sa pangkalusugang problema. Ngayon sagot ka na ng school-based feeding program, katuwangang nutrient. At gulayan sa paaralan, gawing laging makulay. School-based feeding program, basta't masustansyang gulay ihain. Nutrition education palaganapin, gutom at malnutrisyon matutuldukan din. Magsipag, magsikap at magtyaga sa pagkain, ngayon ay huwag mangamba. SBFP, GPP, may nutrient pa. Sa pangarap mo'y ilalapit ka, ilalapit ka. Dahil sagot ka na ng school-based feeding program, katuwangang nutrient. At gulayan sa paaralan, gawing laging makulay. School-based feeding program, basta't masustansyang gulay ihain. Nutrition education pala education palaganapin, gutom at malnutrisyon matututukan din. Ang feeding program ng paaralan laging inaabangan. Sa munting tinig ng kabataan, dinig ang kasiyahan. Kaya't tumayo and sense of cardinal and more nutrient pa. Ito ang solusyon sa pangkalusugang problema. Ngayon'y sagot ka na ng school-based feeding program, katuwang ang nutrient at gulayan sa paaralan, gawing laging makulay. Ang school-based feeding program, daskot masustansyang gulay hain, nutrition education palaganapin, gutom at malnutrisyon matututukan din. Magsipag, magsikap ka't magtiyaga sa pagkain, ngayon ay huwag mangamba. SBFP, GPP, may nutrient pa. Sa pangarap mo'y ilalapit ka, ilalapit ka. Dahil sagot ka na ng school-based feeding program, katuwang ang nutrient at gulayan sa paaralan, gawing laging makulay. School-based feeding program, daskot masustansyang gulay hain, nutrition education pala Sa pagkain ngayon ay huwag mangamba. SBFP, GPP, may nutrient pa. Sa pangarap mo'y ilalapit ka. Ilalapit ka. Dahil sagot ka na ng school-based feeding program. Katuwang ang nutrient at gulayan sa paaralan. Gawing laging makulay ang school-based feeding program. Basta't masustansyang gulay ihain. Nutrition education palaganapin. Gutom at malnutrisyon matutuldukan din. Matutuldukan din. Matutuldukan din. Matutuldukan din.
Good morning, Philippines. Good morning, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Live right here at the BSA Towers, Ortigas Center, Mandaluyong City, as we witness the first national awarding ceremony for the search of the most outstanding implementers of the school-based feeding program for school year 2020-2021. Let us warmly welcome our hosts for today's event, the sought-after teacher broadcasters of DepEd TV Philippines, the gorgeous Miss Pamela Amor R. Villanueva from SDO Caloocan, National Capital Region, and the marvelous Mr. Marco Paulo M. Victoriano from SDO Bulacan, Region 3. Miss Pam, Sir Marco, the stage is yours.
Magandang umaga, Pilipinas. Magandang umaga sa iyo, Miss Pam. At magandang umaga sa lahat ng nanonood at nakasubaybay sa kanilang mga tahanan at eskwelahan, Miss Pam.
Ayun, magandang umaga sa iyo, Sir Marco. Magandang umaga, Luzon, Visayas at Mindanao. Napakaswerte kong araw na to sapagkat katabi ko ang isang napakagwapong teacher broadcaster.
Ako lang
At
to, Miss Pam.
yun na nga, napakaswerte talaga. At parang pakiramdam ko'y Pasko na talaga, Sir Marco. It's the first week of December, 23 days na lang, Pasko na. And as they say, everyone is joyful, cheerful, and thoughtful when it's the Christmas season. And so it is fitting to conduct the first national awarding ceremony for the search for the most outstanding implementers of the school-based feeding program, of course, for the school year 2020-2021. And as the song goes, hindi ko alam kung alam mo tong kantang to, pero napakasikat nito, no? Give love on Christmas Day. Tanda mo. But today, we give awards in December. So, Sir Marco, hindi ko alam ha, kung gumagawa ka ng assignment mo, can you give us at least an idea about the SBFP?
Aba, syempre, Miss Pam, naghanda tayo dyan. The Department of Education, through the Bureau of Learner Support Services, School Health Division, or BLSS-SHD, implements the SBFP to provide good nutrition to learners, and it's generally recognized that learners' nutrition is directly related to their capacity to learn. Last school year, DepEd distributed nutritious food products at kasama po riyan yung Enhanced Nutribun. Ang sarap ito, partner. And pasteurized milk to about 3 million learners from kinder to grade 6 nationwide. The implementation of the SBFP showcased not only the improvement in nutritional status of the undernourished children, but at the same time, practices were also seen in the implementing areas, such as collaboration and partnership with various stakeholders, the continuing assessment and review in the implementation of the program, the management to draw out operational strategies and maximize the cooperation and support of the stakeholders.
100%, ha? Pakapagawa mo ng assignment. Oo nga. Kaya nga, in order to continue the gains achieved by the program, the search for the most outstanding implementers of SBFP for the school year 2021 was launched to recognize the achievements of failed implementers who relentlessly pursued and supported the government's call to provide critical resources needed by the learners, especially at the time that the global pandemic immobilized the world.
Alam mo, malaki pa sa natin sa Department of Health, Department of Education rather, because the 2021 search for most outstanding implementers of the SBFP aims to recognize the outstanding schools division offices, regional offices, and their SBFP focal persons for their exemplary implementation of the SBFP for the school year 2020-2021.
Ramdam na ramdam yan sa iba't ibang panig ng Pilipinas. At kaya naman, nandito ako because we're live here at the BSA Twin Towers, Mandaluyong City. We are about to witness the very first awarding ceremony for the most outstanding implementers for the school-based feeding program for school year 2020-2021. At Marco, it's all over the Philippines with 16 regions vying for the title as the grand winner, regional office, schools division office, and of course, the school.
Alam niyo, sa totoo lang, Miss Pam, kinakabahan ako pero sobrang excited. So, without further ado, to formally start our program, may we invite everyone to participate in the singing of the national anthem to be followed by a prayer.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Lupang
under your grace. Your mercy amazes me. Under your wings, your shadow covers me. Your promise of love, where my heart is safely undone. Speak to me, Lord, your servant is listening. Over the noise, I hear you whispering, my hope has come, and my heart is safely undone. I found my fortress in you, and my soul is anchored with you. My resting place is in your name, forever safe. Speak to me, Lord, your servant is listening.
From here, Ms. Pam, to formally welcome us to this event, we are pleased to hear the welcome address of DepEd NCR Assistant Regional Director, Director Arnulfo Embalani. Everybody's information, DepEd NCR graciously accepted the hosting of this event. Again, Director Balane.
To all the education stakeholders who are with us in this activity, Secretary Leonor Magtoles-Priones, Undersecretaries and Assistant Secretaries, Directors, Superintendents, School Heads, Teachers, Health and Nutrition personnel, our distinguished partners who have been supporting the department, and everyone who is sharing this celebration of Filipinos' resilient nature and dedication towards progress. We warmly welcome you all in behalf of the tenacious men and women from DepEd National Capital Region to these awarding ceremonies of outstanding implementers of school-based feeding program for school year 2020-2021. The challenges of the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic did not deter us from extending intervention programs for the physical, mental, and psychological development of school-age children, particularly those in vulnerable and marginalized families. The Department of Education sees through the impact of nutrition in the children's ability to learn, to fully develop and realize their full potential, and the school feeding program encompasses these visions for our country's future. Beyond the benefits of such program, in improving accessible education, we enhance and leverage our development toward equitable coverage, where the need for better health, nutrition, and feeding program is the greatest. We would like to extend our admiration and our thank yous for our implementers and partners who stand with the cause to fight micronutrients deficiencies among children. Even in the worst of times, who are strong in their voices of support as we transparently deliver so that no one is left behind. Bawat adhikain ay nakapaloob sa edukasyong para sa mga bata. Ito ay para sa kinabukasan, kasama ng aming Regional Director at Officer in Charge, Office of the Undersecretary for Human Resource and Organizational Development, Wilfredo E. Cabral, isang mainit na pagbati. Mabuhay at magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Thank you for joining us in celebration of the hard work and success stories of our schools. Maraming salamat.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Director Balane. Alam mo ba, Sir Marco, kanina sa pakikinig ko, talaga namang totoo ang sinabi niya that indeed, other than education, nutrition is one of the basic rights ng ating mga kabataan. And that is why talagang pinukpok ng Department of Education that despite of the pandemic, we would be able to enhance and we would be able to give what is due para sa kabataan when it comes to nutrition. Mas malusog na pag-iisip, mas maganda ang kahihinatnan ng kanilang pag-aaral.
At mas malusog na pangangatawan, mas malusog din na pag-iisip.
It follows talaga.
Correct.
Ayan. Ito malusog na bata.
And you know, Ms. Pam, the launching of the first ever search for the most outstanding implementers of the school-based feeding program for school year 2021, was made possible because of the efforts of the Bureau of Learner Support Services, the School Head Division, SBFP team, and the members of the National Evaluation Committee. Thus, friends, ladies and gentlemen, let us come to know the people behind this event.
Yes.
From the BLSS-SHD, we have the Chief of the School Health Division, Dr. Maria Corazon C. Dumlao.
From the BLSS-SHD SBFP team, we have the SBFP team leader, Ms. Magdalene Portia T. Carriaga, Senior Education Program Specialist and OIC Assistant Chief.
Hindi mawawala dyan si Miss Mailing V. Duhig, National Focal Person for the Regular Component, Health Education and Promotion Officer 3.
And of course, we also have Mr. Ferdinand M. Nunez, National Focal Person for the Milk Component, Technical Assistant.
Isama pa natin si Miss Maria Lee L. Alpuerto, SBFP team member and National Focal Person for the search. Detailed Nurse 2 from Dipolog City.
Isama pa natin dyan, ito, napakabait nito, Miss Gail Harriet C. De La Rosa, National Co-Focal Person for the Milk Component, Technical Assistant 1.
Idagdag na rin natin si Miss Hazel Joy V. Katakutan, National Co-Focal Person for the Regular Component, Technical Assistant 1. A big round of applause for the SBFP team for their incomparable commitment to the program. And congratulations to the team for being recognized as the most improved program in terms of implementation. This is according to Undersecretary Adeline Sevilla of the Office of the Undersecretary for Finance. Dahil dyan, kudos sa ating SBFP.
Ayun naman talaga. Aja-aja, sabi nga nila, no? For now, we would also like to acknowledge, Sir Marco,
Yes.
the final jurors of the search, the members of the National Evaluation Committee na pinangungunahan po, syempre, ng mahal na Director ng Bureau of Learner Support Services, Director Lope B. Santos III.
From one of the major partners of SBFP, Department of Agriculture, National Dairy Authority, Mr. Joshua S. Lumantad.
From the Department of Agriculture, Philippine Carabao Center, Ms. Mina P. Abella.
And from the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Procurement and Administration, Ms. Heidi T. Malana.
From the Finance Service Budget Division, Ms. Rosario Arcoquianco.
Dagdagan pa natin, from the Education Programs Delivery Unit, Ms. Jennifer Dahay.
From the BLSS Youth Formation Division, Ms. Jeanette J. Lozano.
Kompletuhin na natin ang
Yes.
interagency task force na ito. And last but not least, from the BLSS School Sports Division, Ms. Rosalie Rojas.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much to the members of the National Evaluation Committee. Sir Marco, eto naman, naging marites lang ako, ha? At naging firm ang lahat dahil nahirapan sila in selecting the winners because all regions submitted superb entries to this contest.
Maricon, Mare,
Confirmed.
confirmed. Next, I will be inviting everyone to listen as the Director of the Bureau of Learner Support Services, Director Lope B. Santos III, gives his opening remarks.
Isang magandang araw sa ating lahat. Ang Bureau of Learner Support Services ay nagpupugay sa lahat ng lumahok sa search for the most outstanding implementers of the school-based feeding program for school year 2020-2021. At ngayong araw ang ating National Awarding Ceremony. Marami ang nagtatanong kung paano natin ipinatupad ang programa sa panahon ng pandemya. Nakita natin ang maraming innovations at creativity na ipinatupad ng ating mga paaralan sa gabay ng Division at Regional Offices ng Department of Education. Kasama ang ating mga stakeholders, parents, local government units, private sector, national government agencies, at maraming volunteer organizations. Na ihatid natin sa mga bata ang nutritious food products at gatas. Ang mga ito ay naisabay sa distribution ng modules o naihatid sa mga komunidad at tahanan, tumawid man ang ilog, dagat at bundok, at suungin ang mga sakuna. Matagumpay naman nating naipagpatuloy ang ating programa. Alam ko, maraming kwento, maraming karanasan, at bagong kaalaman tayong natutunan. Ang mga nakalahok sa search na ito ay kumakatawan sa mga kwento ng SBFP 2020-2021. We would like to express our utmost thanks to our major partners in delivering this program. The Office of the Cabinet Secretary, the Philippine Carnival Center, and National Dairy Authority under the Department of Agriculture, Food and Nutrition Research Institute of the Department of Science and Technology, and to all technology adopters, small and medium enterprises, farmer cooperatives and associations, and civil society organizations who provided technical assistance in ensuring the supply of nutritious food products and milk. I believe our program contributes to the improvement of nutritional status, school participation, and academic performance of our learners under the blended learning. Ang ating programa ay nakatulong din sa pagpapasigla ng agrikultura at negosyo. Ang school-based feeding program ay nagsilbing solid market base para sa supply ng gulay, prutas, root crops, at gatas mula sa ating mga magsasaka. I would like to congratulate our school heads, school health and nutrition focal persons, school feeding coordinators, teaching and non-teaching personnel, and our many stakeholders. Napatunayan natin na sa panahon ng krisis, no one is left behind in the Department of Education. Umaasa tayo na higit pang papalakasin at papalawakin ang school-based feeding program para sa lahat ng mga mag-aaral. Buhay po kayo, mabuhay ang DepEd, mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Thank you so much, Director Lope B. Santos III. At totoo naman ang kanyang sinabi, na naniniwala tayong lahat na sa pagpapaigting ng tamang nutrisyon ay mas lalo pong gaganda ang edukasyon ng ating mga kabataan. At alam mo ba, Sir Marco, na hindi talaga naging madali ang pagpili ng ating mga jurors. Mabalik tayo doon sa ating search. So, hindi naging madali para sa kanila to come up with the top 3 regions, which demonstrated their best efforts in the program implementation of the SBFP. Dumaan muna sila sa matinding proseso by the SBFP team, yung 16 regions before being included in the best 10 regions. Parang rank 10 lang sa classroom. Then, from 10, it will be down to 5.
Sinala talaga.
Oo, sinala talaga. And these 5 bested the other 11 regions. And then these 5 regions were presented to the National Evaluation Committee for them to come up with, the top 3.
Wow.
Of course, that would be the 3rd placer, the 2nd placer, and of course, our grand winner.
Damang-dama ko yung proseso nangyari dahil sabi nga, Miss Pam, walang tulugan at may nakarelate at napayak pa sa tindi naman talaga ng mga productions na ginawa nila. Okay? Ng kanya-kanya regions to capture the whole process of implementation, lalong-lalo na sa gitna ng pandemya. Kung saan 360 degrees ang nagaganap na pagbabago. From feeding the learner beneficiaries, to schools, to distribution of nutritious food products, and daily commodities, kaya nung gata, sa tinapay, yung Nutribun natin. Now, Miss Pam, okay? Mamaya, pag-uusapan pa natin ang iba't ibang mga highlights at ganap as we continue with our award ceremony.
Sinabi mo yan, Sir Marco, mag-uusap tayo mamaya. Ayan, so at this point, we shall hear one of the highlights of this event, where 2 of the top executives of the Department of Education and a high-ranking government official from the Office of the Cabinet Secretary will deliver their pre-recorded inspirational messages. Simulan ko na ha.
Sure.
Okay. First, we will have the nature-loving and photography enthusiast, our very own Under Secretary of Administration, USEC, Elaine Delvi Pasqua.
Isang mapagpalang umaga sa inyong lahat. Sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon, ang kagawaran ng edukasyon ay magbibigay pugay sa ating mga kasamahan na nagpapatupad ng isa sa malaking programang pangkalusugan para sa ating mga kabataang mag-aral, ang School-Based Feeding Program. After many years of implementation, we have come to conclude that this program is of so much help to our learner beneficiaries, particularly in the improvement of nutritional status of undernourished children. The COVID-19 pandemic brought so many challenges and sacrifices, specifically to our school feeding coordinators who are the frontliners for the program, who experienced many stumbling blocks throughout the school year 2020 to 2021. Kaya naman kinikilala natin ang ating mga school feeding coordinators ngayong araw dito sa Gawad School-Based Feeding Program o Gawad SBFP. This event is an opportune time to give recognition to the exemplary performance that was rendered during these hard times. To all the national winners of the first national search for the most outstanding implementers of the School-Based Feeding Program for school year 2020 and 2021, we recognize your hard work, your sacrifices, and your dedication. Gusto ko kayong ihalin tulad sa isang puno ng esinya, isang acorn na itinanim sa inyong pinaglalagyan at kailangan alagaan, diligan para ito ay yumabong at maging isang matipunong puno, a mighty oak tree. Kayo ay tinanim at sinubok ng panahon upang magbigay ang lahat ng dedikasyon at pagmamahal sa inyong trabaho. In addition, the care, empathy, and compassion you have shown and given to our learners and the beneficiaries surely have a tremendous impact on their individual lives and families, the effect of which will bring out the best in them and help them reach their full potential. To all our school-based feeding program implementers, may you continue to thrive. Ngayong dahan-dahan nating sinisimulan ang face-to-face classes in the new normal, may mga panibagong pagsubok ulit na kailangan nating harapin. Kasama ninyo ang kagawaran para sa maayos na implementasyon ng school-based feeding program para sa ikabubuti at ikalulusog ng ating mga mag-aral. Tayo ay magtatagumpay sa sama-sama nating dedikasyon at pakikipagtulungan. Sa ngalan ng ating mahal na sekretary, si Kalihim Leonor Magtolis Briones, isang saludo para sa lahat na ating mga national awardees, pagpupugay sa inyong walang sawang pagmamahal sa ating mga mag-aaral. Naway pagpalain kayo at magpatuloy sa pagiging isa sa mga makabagong bayani, lalo na sa panahon ito ng pandemya. Tayo nang magkaisa para sa papaunlad ng bayan dahil sa DepEd, walang batang maiiwan. Para sa bata, para sa bayan. Mabuhay ang ating mga school-based feeding program implementers, mabuhay ang DepEd, mabuhay kayong lahat. Mabuhay ang ating school-based feeding program.
Sa DepEd, walang batang may iwan. Tama yan, Yusek. Thank you so much, Yusek Elaine Pasqua. As always, your message inspires a lot of us. This time is spam. At mga kaibigan, ating tunghayan ang ating mga mahala ng kagawaran ng edukasyon. Walang iba kundi ang ating Honorable Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones sa kanyang inspirational message.
Our dear regional directors, schools division superintendents, school heads are very hardworking school-based feeding coordinators from the regional office. To be with you today as we witness the national awarding ceremony for our very first search for the most outstanding implementers of the school-based feeding program, or SBFP, for the school year 2020 to 2021. As developments in the environment are slowly going back to normal, we take this moment to look back to the year 2020 when we launched the school year-long program implementation that we are recognizing today. Today, we recognize our key players in the implementation of our SBFP as among DepEd's essential workers. Together with our teachers, our health personnel, and other non-teaching personnel, you have courageously overcome the challenges of the pandemic in the name of service for our learners. As you monitored the delivery of nutritious food products and milk commodities to our learners, and as you made sure that these commodities really reached our intended beneficiaries, as you sorted all the necessary documentary requirements and formed helpful partnerships, you were doing more than just implementing a program. You were demonstrating what it really meant to ensure that no child should be left behind. Today, I take this opportunity to thank each of you for all the passion, the dedication, and the hard work. And I speak not only to those who will be awarded winners in the search, but to all of you who have contributed to make this success possible. Sa huli, ang tagumpay ng SBFP ay tagumpay ng buong kagawaran, at ang tagumpay ng kagawaran ay tagumpay para sa mga batang pag-aaral na nasa ating pag-aaruga at pag-aalaga. May this virtual event be a source of strength and encouragement as we celebrate our shared success. Thank you very much.
Maraming pong salamat, Secretary Ling, for that inspiring and heartfelt message. Sana naman mo yun, Sir
Oh,
Marco.
grabe. At this point, we are happy to note that we have a special guest who really finds time to share his thoughts for this event. Let us have the message of Honorable Cabinet Secretary, who is also the chair of the Interagency Task Force on Zero Hunger and the Scaling Up Nutrition Advisory. No other than Honorable Secretary Carlo Alexei B. Nograles.
Solis Briones, Undersecretary Alain Pascua, Undersecretary Annalyn Sevilla, Undersecretary Attorney Nepomuceno Malaluan, Assistant Secretary Attorney Salvador Malana III, Central Office Director Lope Santos III, NCR Regional Director Dr. Wilfredo Cabral, DOST FNRI Director Dr. Imelda Angeles Agdepa, NDA Administrator Marilyn Mabale, PCC OIC Executive Director Dr. Ronnie Domingo, to all the personnel from the central and regional offices, schools divisions offices, SBFP SBFP implementers, partners from other government agencies here with us today. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Di ko man kayo pisikal na kasama, ako at ang aking opisina ay lubos na nagagalak na kami ay nabigyang pagkakataon, makiisa at makibahagi sa inyong selebrasyon sa araw na ito. Today's awarding of the most outstanding implementer of the 2021 is solid proof that no virus can hamper the dedication and commitment of everyone to get the job done. I congratulate the entire family of the Department of Education with Secretary Briones at the helm for providing a clear vision and guidance for the implementation of this program. Good health and adequate nutrition come hand in hand. Even before COVID-19 hit our shores, the vast majority of the world has already been battling hunger and malnutrition. The pandemic has amplified the need to address this worldwide health crisis. While it has been an absolute challenge, our commitment rests on our sworn duty to ensure that we are able to effectively and efficiently address the needs of our kababayans now more than ever. It is without any doubt that the task at hand is daunting and overwhelming. Be that as it may, as chair of the Interagency Task Force on Zero Hunger, I am blessed to have been given the chance to work alongside the country's best and brightest. That even during these dire times, we are still able to make positive change and continue the good work for the betterment of our fellow Filipinos. I'm grateful to DepEd for your unwavering commitment to our zero hunger advocacy. Each of you has shown ardent dedication in our pursuit of addressing hunger and improving the nutritional status of school children through the school-based feeding program. You continue to improve and integrate mechanisms and strategies to ensure that our school children are appropriately fed. This program has been defined by the World Bank as a targeted social safety net program that provides both educational and health benefits to the most vulnerable children, thereby increasing enrollment rates, reducing absenteeism, and improving food security at the household level. Through the SBFP, we are also able to reduce inequities by encouraging families to let their learners attend school given the incentive of being provided school feeding. Allow me to reiterate the crucial role that the SBFP plays in our national food policy, strategically identified as one of the major PAPs that we have under KRA 3, with the objective of ensuring nutrition adequacy. The SBFP serves as an avenue for us to foster and provide school children with the suitable nutrients that they need for them to become the best versions of themselves. This first-time awarding ceremony is a good initiative to acknowledge our implementers who have shown much dedication and best practices. Saludo ako sa lahat ng mga awardees at sa lahat ng nasa likod at harap ng school-based feeding program. Alam natin na sa panahong ito, hindi lang doble kundi triple ang hirap ng pag-implementa ng iba't ibang programang meron tayo sa gobyerno. Dahil sa mga di mabilang na mga hadlang dulot ng kasalukuyang pandemya. Gayunpaman, dahil sa dedikasyon, likas na katalinuhan, at ang di matatawarang bayanihan spirit ng bawat isa sa inyo, tayo ay patuloy na nakakapagbigay serbisyo sa libo-libo at milyon-milyon na mag-aral. I can never emphasize enough the pivotal role that the education systems play throughout the food system, from providing nutritious school meals, the necessary knowledge and skills in food production, to nutrition education for school-age children, and raising consumer awareness towards minimizing the negative impacts of food consumption on human health and the environment. This has been acknowledged by the State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2021 report. Later this day, several people will be given special recognition for the extra effort they put in our work. But do know that the success of the program is all because of everyone's collective commitment and dedication. So again, on behalf of the Interagency Task Force on Zero Hunger, we congratulate all of you. I can only hope that we continue to be inspired to always go the extra mile. I'm a firm believer that through collaborative effort and solid support from all of us in government, civil society, non-government organizations, the private sector, and development partners, it is possible to have a Philippines finally free from hunger and malnutrition. Maayong adlaw, kanatong tanan, mag-ingat po tayong lahat. Daghang salamat and God bless.
Alright. Thank you, Cabsec Nograles, for that remarkable message. Napakaswerte natin ngayong araw na to na bigatin yung ating mga nakakasamang nagbibigay ng message.
Sana minsan makasama natin
Face
si
to face.
Sec, ano? Oh, yes.
Oo. Now, Sir Marco, before we acknowledge all the school winners, alam ko, excited na pero pasasabikin pa namin kayo ng konti. So before acknowledging all the school winners from each region, let us be entertained by some of the talented teachers from Region 1, the pride of SDO Ilocos Norte, on their chorale rendition entitled Naranyag Abulan. Diyos tiyagnina kada kayo, Amen, SDO Ilocos Norte, DepEd, Region 1. Bibigyan lang kita ng konting trivia, Sir Marco, ha? Na rin yung bulan ay Shiny Moon. At alam mo ba, ito ay isang paradox. Kasi ang kantang ito actually ay isang malungkot na kwento ng pag-ibig. Naghihingi yung babae ng enlightenment from the moon dahil medyo malungkot nga kanyang love life. Gusto niyang maliwanagan.
Kaya pala may
yun.
buwan.
May buwan.
Na
Kaya
maliwanag.
naman, liliwanagan na rin natin ang araw na ito dahil hindi na natin patatagayin pa. Sa pagkakataong ito, we will announce the school winners by region.
Ayun.
Pak na ba? Game ka na ba?
Game na.
Ito po ang mga paaralan na lumahok at nanalo sa kani-kanilang mga rehiyon. And to announce the school winners by region, we will have the personnel of the BLSS School Health Division doing the honors.
Of course, we would also like to inform everybody na ang lahat po ng SDO at school winners ay makakatanggap ng plaque of certification, plaque of recognition. At allow me to read the citation. This plaque of recognition is hereby granted to SDO, school, for the outstanding performance and contribution for the successful implementation of the school-based feeding program for school year 2020-2021, and is hereby awarded as regional winner. Search for the most outstanding implementers of the school-based feeding program for school year 2021, for school year 2020-2021, given this second day of December 2021 in Pasig City. Signed by Secretary Leonor M. Briones.
Ayun. Samantala, Sir Marco, ang mga SDO focal person at school feeding coordinators ay makatatanggap ng Certificate of Recognition.
Wow, lahat pala magkakaroon.
Allow me to read the citation just like what you did. This Certificate of Recognition is hereby granted to, in grateful recognition of her exemplary contribution for the successful implementation of the school-based feeding program for school year 2020-2021 and is hereby awarded as regional winner. Search for the most outstanding implementers of the school-based feeding program for school year 2020-2021. Given this second day of December 2021 in Pasig City. Signed, M. Briones, Secretary.
Wala, partner, we shall now have the medical officer of the School Health Division, Dr. Mariblanca Corneliatos and Ms. Belinda Beltran, Nutritionist Dietitian 3, to present the winners from regions 1 and 2.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Belle.
Yes, good morning, Doc Wee. Talaga naman, no, napakagandang umaga po, no, para sa ating lahat. Lalo na po doon sa mga nanonood sa atin virtually from DepEd, regional offices, schools division offices, pati po yung mga schools.
Today, we will witness the first ever nationwide search for the most outstanding implementers of the school-based feeding program for school year 2020-2021.
Yeah, tama po kayo, Doc Wee, no? At this afternoon, actually, we will acknowledge all the schools, participating schools na nakascatter all throughout the Philippines, no, na nag-participate dito sa ating first ever national SBFP search.
Later this afternoon, we will award the grand winner, runner-ups, and the finalists. But for now, we will acknowledge all school winners in each region who submitted their entries for this national search. So simulan na po natin, Doc Wee.
Okay, thank you, Belle. Let me start with Region 1, Ilocos Region, headed by the Regional Director, Director Tolentino G. Aquino, the Education Support Services Division Chief, Dr. Sarah Q. Kasuga, and the SBFP Regional Focal Person, Maricris A. Rivas.
Okay, so congratulations po sa lahat ng mga regional winners.
And okay, we start now with the Schools Division Office of Alaminos City, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Lorna G. Bagulong, the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Arturo R. Vilay, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Carlos S. Rabanal. And the school winner, Popantay Elementary School, headed by Rosemary E. Sison, and the school feeding coordinator, Amelia M. Pulido.
For SDO Batac City, headed by SDS Joel B. Lopez, SGOD Chief Nemalin M. Ulep, Schools Division Focal Person Mirasol B. Mangases. And the school winner is Mariano Marcos Memorial Elementary School, headed by Lilibeth D. Derpo and School Feeding Coordinator Julie A. Sagikit.
Okay, let's move to Candon City. For the Schools Division Superintendent, we have Dr. Anselmo R. Aludino, the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Hartzell P. Virosel, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Cyril A. Perez. And the school winner, Talogtog Elementary School, headed by the school head, Febe D. Talio, and the school feeding coordinator, Sanaida G. Gadina.
Next for the SDO Dagupan City, led by SDS Aguedo C. Fernandez, SGOD Chief Edelberto R. Abalos, and Schools Division Focal Person Noreen B. Vidal. And the school winner is Carael Elementary School, headed by Agnes P. Calicdan and School Feeding Coordinator Alma A. Fernandez.
From the Schools Division of Ilocos Sur, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent, George M. Reynante, the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Philip John Gregory G. Aldos, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Debbie Ann P. Saraos. And the winner is Las Food Elementary School, headed by Mahelia Corazon L. Mangajas, the school head, and the school feeding coordinator, Jonariza L. Salvidar.
For SDO Lawag City, headed by SDS Vilma D. Eda, SGOD Chief Giselo E. Ulep, and Schools Division Focal Person Maisel A. Abunaga. And the school winner is Baxil Elementary School, headed by Wilhelmina V. Ulep and School Feeding Coordinator Marife T. Andres.
Okay, and now let's move to Pangasinan 1 Division, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Ellie S. Ubaldo, the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Angeline S. Casipit, and the Schools Division Focal Persons, Dr. Marisol M. Mamaratlo, Marlene M. Castro, and Girly Grace G. Bravo. And the school winner is Minyen Tebang Elementary School, headed by Fermin B. Gutierrez Jr., the school head, and the school feeding coordinator, Maria Cristina C. Peralta.
For SDO Pangasinan 2, headed by SDS Dadilo C. Sison, SGOD Chief Rosalino T. Agpalo Jr., and Schools Division Focal Person Maria Corazon V. Salinas. And the school winner is Tebag Elementary School, headed by Domitila L. Mapa and School Feeding Coordinator Marta Teresa B. Esteban.
Okay, from the Division of San Carlos, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Lourdes D. Servito, and the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Villamor Q. Gloria, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Maria Aurora Rowena C. Sibayan. And the school winner is Magtaking Elementary School, with the school head, Arlene O. Mendoza, and the school feeding coordinator, Kian Rimadel A. De Leon.
Okay, let's go to Ordaneta City, headed by SDS Fatima R. Boado, SGOD Chief Mario E. Campilla, and Schools Division Focal Persons Sheila Ann P. Perez and Raymar F. Ramos. And the school winner is Nancayasan Elementary School, headed by Ofelia M. Patricio and School Feeding Coordinator Devina V. Raymond.
From the Division of Vigan City, the school's Division Superintendent, Dr. Gemma Q. Takoytoy, the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Giovanni V. Velasco, and the school's Division Focal Person, Lori Angela M. Agat. And the school winner is Pantay Elementary School, with the school head, Maria Teresa Paz, and the school feeding coordinator, Julie Antoinette A. Natividad. Not all schools division submitted their entries to this search. However, we would still like to acknowledge the following schools division offices and their personnel for implementing the SBFP last year, school year 2020-2020. From the Schools Division of Ilocos Norte, we have the Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Joan A. Corpus, the School Governance and Operations Division, Lloyd C. Wasquita, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Sherry L. De La Cruz.
Okay, for SDO La Union naman po, we have SDS Donato D. Balderas Jr., SGOD Chief Emiliana M. Boac, and Schools Division Focal Person Grace C. Aguilar.
From the Division of San Fernando City, La Union, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Rowena C. Banzon, the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Jose Marie P. Almeida, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Irish D. Dacan.
Yan. So, congratulations po sa tatlong mga divisions na ito, Doc V.
Yes.
So, kahit po wala silang entry for SBFP, alam naman natin talaga how aggressive they are in implementing this program.
Correct.
Yan. Okay, so now, Doc V, saan na tayo pupunta? Natapos na po natin ang Region 1. Let's go to the next region. From Region 2, Cagayan Valley, headed by Regional Director Benjamin D. Paragas, ESSD Chief Joselito L. Narag, and SBFP Regional Focal Person, Editha D. Obina.
From the Division of Cagayan, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Orlando E. Manuel, the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Romel L. Libang, and the Schools Division Focal Persons, Christine Alma G. Pagilitan, and Odessa A. Cristobal. And the school winner is Apari East Central Elementary School, with their school head, Arturo F. Calata, and the school feeding coordinator, Alicia B. Rieta.
From Cauayan City, headed by SDS Alfredo B. Gumaru Jr., SGOD Chief Marlon C. Bartolome, Schools Division Focal Person Elizabeth E. Tabing. The school winner is Kulalabat Elementary School, headed by Jeanette Y. Katapang, and School Feeding Coordinator Virginia M. Ramonan.
Let's now move to the Division of Ilagan City, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Gilbert N. Tong, and the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Juliet V. Gumpal, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Carla May G. Alzate. And the school winner is Ilagan South Central Elementary School, with their school head, Nida D. Aranda, and the school feeding coordinator, Nympha Liza G. Malagion.
Okay, from Ilagan City, we will now go to Isabela, headed by SDS Madeline P. Makaling, SGOD Chief Jesus D. Antonio, and Schools Division Focal Persons Florence T. Duque and Cherise S. Perez. And the school winner is Angadanan Central School, headed by Erwin T. Guillermo, and School Feeding Coordinator Felisa V. Acoba.
Okay, let's move to Nueva Vizcaya, headed by their school's division superintendent, Dr. Rachel R. Liana, the school governance and operations division chief, Romulo S. Ancheta, and the school's division focal person, Marilu C. Roderos. And the school winner is Solano South Central Elementary School, headed by the school head Jovelyn G. Lacangan and the school feeding coordinator Loida R. Tolentino.
Now we go to SB Oquirino, headed by SDS Flor de Lisa C. Hecobe, SGOD Chief Elinita B. Ugot, Schools Division Focal Person Moira Ann D. Bulawan. And the school winner is Dumabel Integrated School, headed by Novelin C. Takata and School Feeding Coordinator Villa A. Corpus.
Moving on, let's go to the Division of Santiago City. The school's division superintendent, Dr. Cherry S. Ramos, the school governance and operations division chief, Rosalia B. Gutierrez, and the school's division focal person, Catherine A. Madrid. And the school winner is Balintokatog Integrated School with the school head Melozar F. Dizon and the school feeding coordinator Eritza A. Controva.
Now we go to Tuguegarao City, headed by SDS Reynante C. Caliguiran, SGOD Chief Gina M. Durian, and Schools Division Focal Person Leilani T. Mangabat. And the school winner is Tuguegarao West Central School, headed by Vilma M. Darisan and School Feeding Coordinator Joanne D. Morgado.
Not all schools divisions submitted their entries to the search. However, we would still like to acknowledge the Division of Batanes and their personnel for implementing the SBFP last year, 2020-2021. Headed by their school's division superintendent, Eduardo C. Escortizo Jr., the school governance and operations division, Jaime G. Castillo, and the school's division focal person, Maybelline A. Hernandez.
So ayun, maraming salamat po. No? Thank you very much and congratulations to all the regional winners.
Back to you, Teacher Pam and Teacher Marco.
Yun, congratulations na agad and thank you Doc Wee and Miss Bell. So next, Sir Marco, we have Mr. Dave R. Velasco, Administrative Assistant 5, and Miss Cherry Ann E. Corpus, Technical Assistant 1, to announce the school winners. Baluarte mo to, Sir Marco, from Region 3.
Entry schools from Region 2. Ito naman ang mga entries from Region 3.
Partner Cherry, ano-ano mga schools ang napasama sa Region 3?
Yes, Sir Dave. Let us continue with the Region 3, headed by the Regional Director, Dr. May B. Eclar, ESSD Chief Sami P. Sampang, and their SBFP Regional Focal Person, Crisel S. Pantalunan. From SDO Angeles C, headed by their SDS, Myrene Irene P. Tamayo, School Governance and Operations Division, Edgar L. Manabat, and their School Division Focal Person for the NFP and Milk Component, Rosemary Venencia P. Necessary. And the school winner is Abelardo G. Tino Elementary School, headed by Esperanza G. Nabong, and their School Feeding Coordinator is Perlina G. Aguirre.
From SDO Aurora, headed by School Division Superintendent Catalina P. Paez, School Governance and Operations Division, Gilbert F. Dayubang, and their School Division Focal Person for NFP and Milk Feeding Program, Aurora D. Vallejo. And the winner is the Mampudso Elementary School, headed by Mary Grace F. Banan, and their School Feeding Coordinator, Maria Luisa B. Cambalisa.
From SDO Bataan, headed by their School Division Superintendent Ronald M. Fronda, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Ramon C. Perez, and their School Division Focal Person Maria Lourdes D. Gabaya. And the school winner is Paraiso Elementary School, headed by Jeffrey V. David, and the school feeding coordinator is Marlee M. Reyes.
From SDO Bulacan, headed by School Division Superintendent Sinya G. Muscoles, School Governance and Operation Division Cecilia S. Custodio, and School Division Focal Person Yolanda G. Jimenez. And the school winner is San Jose Patag Elementary School, headed by Marcel G. Santiago, and their school feeding coordinator Celia A. Kalima.
Next is from SDO Cabanatuan City, headed by School Division Superintendent Teresa D. Mababa, with School Governance and Operations Division Chief Wilfredo R. Cesar. School Division Focal Person Criselda M. Maria. And the school winner is the Ann Cerile Integrated School, headed by Laila S. Pascual, and School Feeding Coordinator Angelita B. Donat.
And from SDO Balanga City, headed by School Division Superintendent Ronnie S. Magliari, School Governance and Operation Division Lord Delisa A. Del Rosario, and School Division Focal Person Maria Joby F. Sulveta. And the school winner is Ataming Elementary School, headed by Agnes O. Magdalera, and their school feeding coordinator Maria Rosario P. Cubad.
From Mekawayan City, Schools Division Superintendent Carolina S. Violeta, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Kerubin E. Lopez, and the School Division Focal Person Joan Alexis M. Ermino. And the school winner is Perez Elementary School, headed by Maria Lourdes N. Fajardo, and School Feeding Coordinator Rubilin M. Seminian.
And from SDO Gapan City, headed by School Division Superintendent Rhoda T. Razwan, School Governance and Operation Division Astrida M. Bernabe, and their School Division Focal Person Divina A. Aglubat, and the school winner is San Roque Elementary School, headed by Belinda B. Quijano, and their school feeding coordinator Michelle B. Gutierrez.
From SDO Malolo City, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Norma P. Esteban, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Cynthia C. Briones, and Schools Division Focal Person April Claire M. Enriquez. And the school winner is Longos Elementary School, headed by Marian Andes, and School Feeding Coordinator Maureen D. Chua.
From SDO Mabalacat City, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Erickson S. Sabacan, and the School Governance and Operation Division Chief Jennifer Q. Unanan, and the School Division Focal Person Mary Cyril P. De La Cruz, and the school winner is Mapiga Elementary School, headed by Roel M. Manalisa, and their school feeding coordinator Jacqueline F. Valdez.
From SDO Nueva Ecija, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Jessie D. Ferrer, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Luis M. Calvison, Schools Division Focal Person Grace G. Bernales, and the school winner is San Antonio Central School, headed by Leonora C. Faustino, and the school feeding coordinator is Engracia C. Saldana.
And from Olongapo City, headed by School Division Superintendent Leilani S. Cunanan, School Governance and Operation Division Chief Eleanor C. Kayamyab, and their School Division Focal Person Romina D. Resultan, And the school winner is Santa Rita Elementary School, headed by Marina G. Dinega and their school feeding coordinator, Hanali S. Delfito.
From SDO Pampanga, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Edgar C. Domingo, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Araceli S. Lopez, and their Schools Division Focal Person Meiji Rose J. Santiago and Delbert L. Lumbang. And the school winner is Santo Niño Elementary School, headed by Belinda L. Kayanan and their school feeding coordinator Nelia D. Caligo.
From SDO San Fernando City, headed by School Division Superintendent Melda P. Maspak and School Governance and Operation Division Chief Lawrence G. Agapito and their School Division Focal Person John Roniel O. David, and the school winner is San Fernando Elementary School, headed by Lorna A. Aquino and their school feeding coordinator Mary Antoinette S. Manalo.
From SDO San Jose City, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Johanna N. Hervasio, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Romeo R. Vicmudo, and their Schools Division Focal Person Jacqueline P. Maliwa. And the school winner is Villa Floresta Elementary School, headed by Edgar P. Villajuan and School Feeding Coordinator Marlene M. Ren.
From SDO San Jose del Monte City, headed by School Division Superintendent Martina P. Cruz and School Governance and Operation Division Chief Esperanza Diaz Cruz and their School Division Focal Person Ethel Joy A. Furido, and the school winner is San Rafael Elementary School, headed by Flordelisa M. Limon and their school feeding coordinator Maria Bencil M. Romero.
From SDO Science City of Muñoz, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Dante G. Parumao, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Bernardo A. Gargabite, and Schools Division Focal Person Evangeline A. Bautista. And the school winner is Muñoz Central School, headed by Emily I. Fernandez, and School Feeding Coordinator Mary Ann B. Watt.
From SDO Tarlac City, headed by School Division Superintendent Maria Carmen P. Cuenco and School Governance and Operations Division Chief Leonida C. Garcia and their School Division Focal Person Dency O. Paculanan. And the school winner is Trinidad Elementary School, headed by Joy G. Yabut and their school feeding coordinator Maria Rosario F. Gutman.
From SDO Tarlac, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Ronaldo A. Pozan, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Noel L. Linsao, and her Schools Division Focal Person Marizon N. Villegas. And the school winner is Mabilog Elementary School, headed by Hersa F. Huwet and School Feeding Coordinator Criselda D. Cabiluan.
From SDO Zambales, headed by School Division Superintendent Romeo M. Alip and School Governance and Operations Division Chief Eileen C. A. and School Division Focal Person Michelle G. Magno. The school winner is Libertador Elementary School, headed by Sarah J. R. Trinidad and their school feeding coordinator Maricel J. Atrero.
Yan, Region 3. Thank you so much. Next on the roll is the school winners of Region 4, Calabarzon. To present us, let's have Ms. Girly G. Azurin, Senior Education Program Specialist and OIC Assistant Chief, Dr. Cynthia Di Coronado, Dentistry.
Now we heard school entries from Region 3. Ito naman po ang para sa Region 4A.
Doc Cynthia, ano-ano nga bang mga school ang napasama sa Region 4A?
Let us continue with Region 4A, headed by Francis Cesar B. Bringas, Regional Director, Eduardo M. Zapanta, ESSD Chief, Neil B. Evangelista, SBFP Regional Focal Person. From SDO Antipolo City, headed by School Division Superintendent Christopher R. Diaz, School Governance and Operation Division Jonathan P. Domingo, School Division Focal Person Fanny S. Ramos, Jed David S. De La Cruz, and the school winner is 1 Sumulong Elementary School, headed by Dr. Romeo G. Rodriguez Jr. and Maria Lisa G. Valdez as School Feeding Coordinator. From SDO Batangas City, headed by Felizardo D. Bolaños, School Division Superintendent, Victoria G. Fababier, School Governance and Operation Division, Marian R. Medina and Janice M. Untalan, School Division Food Focal Person. And the school winner is Batangas City South Elementary Schools, headed by Amparo H. Perez and Delisa M. Bino, School Feeding Coordinator.
Thank you so much, Doc Cynthia. From SDO Batangas, headed by Martel M. Everdome, Schools Division Superintendent, David M. Luay, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, and Schools Division Focal Persons Karen E. Enriquez and Jonah Maris M. Magnayo. And the school winner is Tumalim Elementary School, headed by Geraldine S. Dagaño, School Head, and Vedetta C. Ramos, School Feeding Coordinator. From SDO Cabuyao City, headed by Heriberto Jose D. Miranda, Schools Division Superintendent, Jose Charlie S. Alupin, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Joy O. Andaya, and Gilbert C. Baksik, Schools Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Sala Elementary School, headed by Melinda N. Caparas, School Head, and Ryan Paul L. Batayon, School Feeding Coordinator.
Thank you, Ms. Gurley. From Calamba City, we have School Division Superintendent Susan B. L. Oriviana, Marisa A. Dedumo, School Governance and Operation Division, Cyril L. Paner, and Jubilin A. Rosas, School Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Real Elementary School, headed by Rowena B. Campbell and Lisa J. Agdipa as School Feeding Coordinator. From SDO Cavite City, Lourdes T. Bermudez as School Division Superintendent, Romeo S. Rosales as School Governance and Operation Division, Paul Jamil M. Panganiban, Schools Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Juan Felipe Elementary School, headed by Roberto O'Dones and Lea G. Colonia, School Feeding Coordinator.
Thank you, Doc Cynthia. From SDO Cavite, headed by Romel C. Bautista, Schools Division Superintendent, Diana P. Topacio, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Pearly May R. Penales, and Clorinda E. Garma, Schools Division Focal Person. And the school winner is David P. Jimenez Elementary School, headed by Nieves R. Hoxon, School Head, and Caridad G. Parungao, School Feeding Coordinator. From SDO Dasmariñas City, headed by Raimundo M. Cantojos, Schools Division Superintendent, Leticia T. Lopez, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Maria Leilani S. Coronado, Divina Victoria P. Prudente, and Hannah Tricia Salve F. Ramos, Schools Division Focal Persons. And the school winner is Francisco E. Barsaga Memorial School, headed by Berlina A. Alcaide, School Head, and Maria Jeda C. Brisa, School Feeding Coordinator.
Thank you, Ma'am Gurley. From SDO General Trias City, we have School Division Superintendent Doris DJ Estalilla, Ines L. Inocencio, School Governance and Operation Division, Eliel May A. Galgo, and Mary Grace E. Javier as School Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Sunny Brook Elementary School, headed by Roberto R. De Borja and Rodolin T. Lopez as the School Feeding Coordinator. From SDO Imo City, we have School Division Superintendent Rosemary D. Torres, Ivan Honor Pet Mijares as School Governance and Operation Division, Jacqueline R. Mararak and Mabel A. Arnimas as School Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Governor D.M. Camerino Integrated School, headed by Jesus B. Vergado and Roger Ian C. Demilio as School Feeding Coordinator.
From SBO Laguna, headed by Marites A. Ibanez, Schools Division Superintendent, Darwin Talambayan, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Cristel Camille E. Granada, Maria Josefina L. Villarica, Marilu Y. Manzanero, and Noralisa E. Bambo, Schools Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Crisanto Brisaco Memorial Elementary School, headed by Carmelita D. Reyodica, School Head, and Jane M. Asistido, School Feeding Coordinator.
Thank you, Ma'am Gurley. From SDO Lipa City, we have Homer N. Mendoza as School Division Superintendent, Minerva C. Caraos, School Governance and Operation Division, Grace B. Kamaganakan, and Christian Malaluan as School Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Ryan Silva Elementary School, headed by Renato F. Pahutaga, School Head, and Miss Maria Teresa A. Casabuena, School Feeding Coordinator. And from SDO Lucena City, we have School Division Superintendent Hermogenes M. Panganiban, Dr. Epifania F. Carandang, School Governance and Operation Division, Carlo Joseph D. Castillo and Julie Carmel V. La Rosa as School Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Ransohan Integrated School, headed by Jose Virgel L. Adriano, and Archison G. Rogelio, School Feeding Coordinator.
Thank you, Doc T. From Quezon Province Division, headed by Elias A. Alicaya Jr., Schools Division Superintendent, Elizabeth M. De Villa, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Maria Nerissa A. Diego, Maria Teresita M. Apelia, and Jacqueline May N. Ebora, Schools Division Focal Person. And the school winner is La Laguna 1 Elementary School, headed by Grace B. Salvatos, School Head, and Cherry M. Escobar, School Feeding Coordinator.
From SDO Santa Rosa City, we have Manuela S. Tolentino, Schools Division Superintendent, Jesse James E. Inat, School Governance and Operation Division, Kendrick L. Villanueva, and Karen A. Bernardino, Schools Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Macabling Elementary School, headed by Mucha T. Morillo and Ruby Ann T. Sardenia as School Feeding Coordinator. From SDO Tanawan City, we have Rogelio F. Opulencia as School Division Superintendent, Maximo L. Custodio Jr., School Governance and Operation Division, Maria Elena P. Macahia and Ruben L. De Guzman Jr. as School Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Tinurik Elementary School, headed by Evelyn A. Fano and Zita M. Herrera as School Feeding Coordinator.
Thank you, Doc Cynthia. From SDO Tayaba City, headed by Gurley M. Ilagan, Schools Division Superintendent, Edwin R. Rodriguez, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Mariles F. Contreras, and Leilani T. Omlas, Schools Division Focal Person. And the school winner is Dakdak Integrated School, headed by Cherry G. Hugo, School Head, and Hazel P. Reyes, School Feeding Coordinator. From SDO Bacoor City, headed by Edita M. Antedido, Schools Division Superintendent, Cesar M. Mojica, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Ruby L. Carlongan, Schools Division Focal Person.
And from Binyan City, Edna F. Agustin, School Division Superintendent, Bayani V. Enriquez, School Governance and Operation Division, Henrietta M. Nacario, and John Sebastian N. Hakalan, School Division Focal Person.
Thank you so much for participating. And again, congratulations to the regional winners. Back to you, Teacher Pam and Teacher Marco. Salamat po, Ma'am Gurley and Doc Cynthia. And now, Sir Marco, let's give it up for Regions 4B and 5 to be presented by Mr. Bon Rich B. Berba, Education Program Specialist 2, and Ms. Mutia C. Rakino, Administrative Assistant 2.
We heard entry schools from Region 4A. Ito naman ang mga entries ng Region 4B.
Yes, partner. You know, I'm very excited to know kung ano-ano ang mga paaralan ang mapapabilang sa Region 4B.
Ito na nga, Sir Bon. Let us continue with Region 4B. Headed by the Regional Director, Nicolas P. Capulo. ESSD Chief, Esmeraldo G. Lalo. And SBFP Focal Person, Karen Faye M. Kaya.
Salamat, partner. Kaya naman, tunghayan natin ang unang Schools Division Office ng Region 4B, ang SDO Calapan City, headed by Schools Division Superintendent or SDS, Laida L. Mascareñas, School Governance and Operations Division o SGOD Chief, Nanette Macagiwa, Schools Division Focal Persons, Reni V. M. Hieronimo, and Jennifer M. Gelena. And the school winner is Personan Elementary School, headed by Margie E. Paigao, and School Feeding Coordinator Rodora M. Bagos. Congratulations! tumungo naman tayo sa SDO Occidental Mindoro sa pangunguna ni SDS Lynn G. Mendoza, SGOD Chief Aniceto Parohinog, Schools Division Focal Persons Rafael Jan C. Serrano, and Portia L. Eslava. And the school winner is Bagong Sikat Elementary School, headed by Reynaldo P. Dumalaog, and School Feeding Coordinator Joylene J. P. Vargas.
From Oriental Mindoro, headed by SDS Susana M. Bautista, SDOD Chief Eddie Dalisay, and Schools Division Focal Person Charina G. Galindez and Oscar B. Ledesma. And the school winner is Dulungan 2 Elementary School, headed by Erlinda R. Zulueta, and School Feeding Coordinator Elsie A. Gonzalez.
So again, congratulations. So let's proceed with SDO Puerto Princesa, headed by SDS Serviliano A. Arzaga, SGOD Chief Eliazar D. Arellano, and Schools Division Focal Persons Mary Charlene A. Estanio and Precious Lou M. Abella. And the school winner is Santa Cruz Elementary School, headed by Arlene Barone Lucas and School Feeding Coordinator Maricel J. Echalar.
From SDO Palawan, headed by SDS Roger F. Capa, SGOD Chief Felina Padrones, and School Division Focal Persons Verly G. Engracia and Diane Joy Lynn L. Polanco.
Thank you, partner. So let's have the last SDO from Region 4B. We have SDO Romblon, headed by SDS Maria Luisa D. Servando, SGOD Chief Hipolito Verano, and Schools Division Focal Persons Maria Estelita S. Onias and Frances Renova M. Monton. So now, allow me to present to you the first Schools Division Office in Region 5, SDO Albay, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Norma B. Samantela, SGOD Chief Edwin Mias, and Schools Division Focal Persons Cynthia P. Aslor and Jovelyn D. Rigondola. And the school winner is Kawit Elementary School, headed by Miriam A. Madrigalejos and School Feeding Coordinator Ivy A. Aldea.
Thank you so much, Sir Von. Now let us proceed to SDO Camarines Norte, headed by SDS Nifa D. Gemo, SGOD Ramon Avila, School Division Focal Persons Marilu O. Apwang and Robbie Mark P. Bastro. And the winner is Jose Panganiban Elementary School, headed by Antonio A. Maderal, and School Feeding Coordinator Jovi P. Demata.
Thank you so much, partner. So now let's proceed to SDO Camarines Sur, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Loida N. Nidea, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Peter Pelonio, Schools Division Focal Persons Natalie Grace L. Silva and Darrell G. Ledesma. And the school winner is De La Fe Elementary School, headed by Jasmine E. Pentecostes and School Feeding Coordinator Christine Shara S. Sanglay.
From SDO Catanduanes, headed by SDS Susan S. Colano, SGOD Mary Jane Romero, and School Division Focal Persons Maribel B. Samonte and Jennifer S. Casalo. And the school winner is Pumagaytay Elementary School, headed by Rolly N. Nazareno, and School Feeding Coordinator, Alma A. Soliveres.
Thank you so much, partner. So let's proceed to SDO Iriga City, headed by SDS Danilo E. Despi, SGOD Chief Noel Cabaltero, and Schools Division Focal Person Shirley B. Lucena, and the school winner is Iriga North Central School, headed by Ray A. Tabangao, and School Feeding Coordinator Priscilla E. Guadalupe.
Once again, congratulations! From SDO Legazpi City, headed by SDS Crespito M. Morcilla, SGOD Maria Solidad Noyles, School Division Focal Persons Caroline B. Best and Marvin J. Agripa. And the school winner is Lamba Elementary School, headed by Geraldine N. Espana, and the School Feeding Coordinator Mary Ann A. Daya.
Congratulations and thank you so much, partner. Now let's move on to SDO Masbate City, headed by SDS Fatima D. Buen, SGOD Chief Renato Rubio, Schools Division Focal Persons Rosalie A. Fresado, and Gladys A. Lozano. And the school winner is Biyong Elementary School, headed by Loida C. Valenzuela, and School Feeding Coordinator Romabel M. Abelia.
Tumungo naman tayo sa SDO Masbate, headed by SDS Nene R. Merioles, SGOD Chief Mark Anthony Rupa, and School Division Focal Persons Maria Ronnie B. Francisco and Jasmine R. Pipe. And the school winner is La Laguna Elementary School, headed by Chona L. Lovino, and the School Feeding Coordinator Alma R. Agovida.
Congratulations! Now, tumungo naman po tayo sa SDO Naga City sa pangunguna ni SDS Mariano B. De Guzman, SGOD Chief Renato Gavino, and Schools Division Focal Persons Vanessa A. Lo, Maria Angela S. Rustia, and Hazel Rose L. Sumpay. And the school winner is Julian Meliton Elementary School, headed by Luis P. Marasigan, and School Feeding Coordinator Jacqueline Donabel R. Ramirez.
From SDO Sorsogon City, headed by SDS William E. Ganto, SGOD Chief Felisa De Liosa, School Division Focal Persons John Peter D. Hita and Bonina J. Sarpi. And the school winner is Pio Hebulan Elementary School, headed by LV J. Figueroa, and the School Feeding Coordinator Arjun J. Grajo.
Thank you so much, partner. So let's give it up for SDO Sorsogon City. So now, let's proceed to SDO Tabaco City, headed by SDS Socorro V. De La Rosa, SGOD Chief Nilo Banzuela, and Schools Division Focal Persons Vanessa M. Clarina and Jocelyn G. Guste. And the school winner is Sagurong Elementary School, headed by Ronaldo B. Buela, and School Feeding Coordinator Divina P. Jereza.
Thank you so much, Sir Bon. From SDO Ligao City, headed by SDS Nelson S. Morales Jr. and SGOD Chief Ernie Barangtel, School Division Focal Persons Lisa G. Olaires and Annalisa E. Santa Ana.
Thank you so much, partner. Now, we are down with the last Schools Division Office in Region 5. We have SDO Sorsogon, headed by SDS Jose L. Doncillo, SGOD Chief Florencio Bermundo, and Schools Division Focal Persons, we have Armando E. Almodiel Jr., Lizel C. Galit, and Teresa Pamela P. Angeles.
Ayan na nga, Miss Pam. Salamat po, Sir Von and Miss Mutya. Coming up next are the school winners from Region 6 to be presented by Sir Gian Eric M. Education Program Specialist 2 and Miss Patricia Ann Feliciano, Executive Assistant 3.
We just heard the entry schools for the Bicol region. Moving on, here are the entry schools for the Western Visayas region, Region 6.
Yes, Gian. Ano-ano ba ang schools na napasama sa Region 6?
Let's see, Miss Patty. To continue, from the Western Visayas region, headed by the Regional Director Ramir B. Uytico, together with the ESSD Chief Amelita C. Pitalgo, and the SBFP Regional Focal Persons Melgazar Barboza and Melchor Quinquat.
From the SDO Antique, with the Schools Division Superintendent Felisa B. Beryong, and SGOD Chief Evelyn C. Remo, and Schools Division Focal Person Helen R. Ibera and Jessie Jo Y. Pulbut. The school winner is Hinalinan Ipil Elementary School, with their school head Geraldine D. Tortal and school feeding coordinator Shirley V. Magluyan and Sheridon B. Talagtag.
Moving on, here is the SDO of Bago City, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent Alan B. Yap, together with their SGOD Chief Orlando G. Cesar Jr., and their Schools Division Focal Persons Lesaida B. Cardinal and Sheila May G. Galiaza. And the school winner is Bago City Elementary School, headed by Richard Tanaman Saiko, together with their school feeding coordinators Geraldine G. Lizaran and Jemima M. Galiam.
For SDO Cadiz City, with their Schools Division Superintendent Maria Lorlini M. Ortilio and SGOD Chief Edgardo G. Shaton, together with the Schools Division Focal Person Ivy May B. Moscoso and Erwin J. G. Negosa. The school winner is Daga Elementary School, with their school head Conrado L. Lobaton and school feeding coordinator Leonila Y. Batislaon and Gemma J. Dolorosa.
And now we have the SDO of Capiz, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent Salvador D. Ochavo Jr., together with their SGOD Chief Marlon P. Destreza and the Schools Division Focal Persons Sharaline G. Baticados and Alvin M. Braulio. And the school winner is Tapaz Central School, headed by Glenda Gapate Guervero, and their school feeding coordinators Juvie G. Gardos and Helen G. Mesias.
For SDO Guimaras, with the Schools Division Superintendent Maria Roselyn J. Palcas, and SGOD Chief Armando E. Gabion Jr., and Schools Division Focal Person Maria Clarita I. Ronzales and Elda Ronita B. Pandevila. The school winner is Nueva Valencia Central School, with their school head Telma G. Baat and school feeding coordinator Annalisa G. Galgo and Honorata G. Gonzaga.
For the SDO of Himamaylan City, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent Reynaldo G. Hico, together with their SGOD Chief Arlene E. Yap, and their Schools Division Focal Persons Edeliza B. Grijaldo and JRL Gayoso. The school winner is Himamaylan Central School, with their school head Ida P. Alvarez, with their school feeding coordinators Cecilia A. Papiok and Sherry Hope T. Cardona.
For SDO Iloilo City, with their Schools Division Superintendent Maria Luz M. De Los Reyes and SGOD Chief Jerry M. Lego, and Schools Division Focal Person Christine Aubrey C. Tonete and Gilchrist M. Vilches. The school winner is Taal Elementary School with their school head Jocelyn M. Sasa and school feeding coordinator Naomi A. Beron.
For the SDO Iloilo Province, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent Roel E. Bermejo, together with their SGOD Chief Gilbert Solidum, and their Schools Division Focal Persons Felony P. Panes, Charmaine Melsan M. Perasol, and Mary Liberty Mabunay. The school winner is Nat'l Elementary School with their school head Jose P. Monterfrio Jr. and their school feeding coordinator Belen P. Flojo.
And now we have SDO Negros Occidental with the Schools Division Superintendent Marcet D. Sabaluca and SGOD Chief Romeo C. Season Jr. and Schools Division Focal Person Loisa B. Tingson and Catherine C. Sabrin. The school winner is Magsaysay Elementary School with the school head Joey B. Hernalin and school feeding coordinator Rosalia G. Subiate.
To continue, here is the SDO of Pasig City, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent Jess M. Gomez, together with their SGOD Chief Nercel P. Panes and their Schools Division Focal Persons Merlin H. Cabanas and Kimberly M. Basistin. The school winner is Ayuyan Elementary School with their school head Karen B. Aliligay and their school feeding coordinator Raylene P. Francilizo.
For SDO Rojas City with their Schools Division Superintendent Salesiano C. Buenafe Jr. and SDOD Chief Nerissa A. Resente, with Schools Division Focal Person Nelia E. Espada and Julian P. Dalman. The school winner is Doña Vicente P. Hontiveros Memorial School with their school head Maritas F. Lazo and school feeding coordinator Helen O. Dolos.
Moving on, here is the SDO of Sagay City, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent Arlene G. Bermejo, together with their SGOD Chief Maria Teresa Q. Bingkang, together with their Schools Division Focal Persons Grace P. Lanutan and Lisette Grace V. Cabalak. The school winner is Sir Arthur E. Cooper Elementary School, headed by Glenn E. Pedelo, together with their school feeding coordinators Noemi P. Alolon and Mercy Fighter B. Salve.
And now, let's go to the SDO of Silay City under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Noveline M. Vilches and SDOD Chief Jose L. Quinto, together with the Schools Division Focal Person Jocelyn P. Condada and Jairen P. Leonida. The school winner is Don Eustaquio Hopilena Memorial Elementary School with the school head Lovenia D. Pansaon and school feeding coordinator Rena S. Villa and Ivy G. Palorina.
At this moment, we would like to also acknowledge the efforts of the following Schools Division offices for implementing the school-based feeding program. For the SDO of Aklan, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent Miguel Mac D. Aposin, together with their SGOD Chief Michael T. Rapiz and their Schools Division Focal Persons Jesly M. Marzona and Leoncio T. Regalado.
Moving on, we go to the SDO of Bacolod City with the Schools Division Superintendent Gladys Amelaine B. Sales. Their SDOD Chief is Gregorio C. Moyani, together with Schools Division Focal Person Catherine R. Antonio and Joy V. Baco.
The SDO of Escalante City, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Clarissa G. Zamora, together with their SGOD Chief Mark Anthony J. Tan, and their Schools Division Focal Persons Roslyn N. Bongaitan and Lorene Lu Alcanzado.
And now we have the SDO of Cabancalan City with their Schools Division Superintendent Portia M. Malorca and SGOD Chief Cecilia G. Abelio, and Schools Division Focal Person Alma Vanessa G. Tanwani and Mary Jane H. Bucanas.
For the SDO of La Carlota City,
SGOD Chief Maria Cristina F. Bahinting, and Schools Division Focal Person Saranay Christy A. Redente and Ronald Ryan R. Radje.
and now we have the SDO of Sipalay City under the leadership of their Schools Division Superintendent Renato T. Ballesteros, together with their SGOD Chief Reggie B. Sama and their Schools Division Focal Persons Lina Claire M. Sumael and Michelle E. Hakulbe.
Thank you so much for participating, and again, congratulations to all regional winners. Back to you, Teacher Marco and Teacher Pam.
Alright, Sir Marco, padami na ng padami yung mga winners na ikilala natin. So this time naman, we move on from the winners from Region 7 to be presented by Ms. Christine Isabel B. Buenvenida, Health Education Promotion Officer 2, and Ms. Jomari Chan, Administrative Support 2.
We heard entry schools from Region 6. Ito naman po ang mga entries ng Region 7.
Ms. Christine, ano-ano bang mga schools ang napasama sa Region 7?
Let us continue with the Region 7, headed by the Regional Director Salustiano T. Jimenez, the ESSD Chief Tomas T. Pastor, and the SBFP Regional Focal Person Grace B. Espos.
From SDO Bais City, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Dexter Y. Aguilar, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Emmanuel B. Garcia, Schools Division Focal Person Pearl Jeanette C. Pinario, and the school winner is Bais City Pilot School, headed by Lawrence M. Dagle, and the school coordinator Arabella B. Kiobe.
Now let's proceed to the SDO Bayawan City, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Leilani T. Cabrera, School Governance and Operations Division Eduardo L. Lagos, Schools Division Focal Person Hazel V. Rivera. The school winner is Basay Central School, headed by Johnny B. Empainado, and School Feeding Coordinator Grace T. Balansag.
To continue, here is SDO Bugu City, with the School Division Superintendent Rosseler In Gilig, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Norma M. Lipiten, and the Schools Division Focal Persons Rex Omar L. Gallardo and Richie J. Mayor. And the school winner is La Paz Elementary School, with their school head Sarah P. Mijares and the school feeding coordinator Catherine A. De La Peña.
And now we have SDO Cebu City, headed by the School Division Superintendent Rhea Mar A. Angkud, School Governance and Operations Division Lyra L. Iliaga, School Division Focal Person Arlene L. Pau. The school winner is
Alamban Elementary School, headed by Jonaline F. Sabate, and the school feeding coordinator, Alma J. Bantang.
Now let's proceed to SDO Cebu, with the School Division Superintendent, Marilyn S. Andales, the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Victor A. Ibanez, Schools Division Focal Person, Josefina Minerva M. Perales. And the school winner is Tubod Elementary School, with their school head, Cirila B. Hersalina, and the school feeding coordinator, Maria Bernadette S. Ganan.
And now let's proceed to SDO Danao City, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Leia P. Noveras, School Governance and Operations Division Glenn A. Tahan Lami, Schools Division Focal Person Clara Marie Giritan. And the school winner is Severo Duterte Memorial Elementary School, headed by Jessica M. Loro, and the school feeding coordinator Opaline Rega M. Reyambonanza.
And now we have SDO Dumaguete City, with the Schools Division Superintendent, Gregorio Cyrus R. Elihorde, and the School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Nelson A. Caday, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Catherine Ann A. Cooley. And the school winner is Kadaway Elementary School, with their school head, Archites E. Daxla, and the school feeding coordinator, Ruth B. Hernandez.
To continue, here is SDO Gihulngan City, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Arden D. Monisit, School Governance and Operation Division Donabel B. Orculio, and School Division Focal Person Razel Ann A. Bulibuli. The school winner is Pitogo Elementary School, headed by Juna G. Tinyonas, and School Feeding Coordinator Kathleen B. Vergara.
Now let's proceed to Lapu-Lapu City, with our Schools Division Superintendent, Wilfreda D. Bungalos, with the School Governance and Operations Division, Reynold Q. Velos, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Donna Ray I. Mundala. And the school winner is Pusok Elementary School, with our school head, Adela B. Pasumala, and the school feeding coordinator, Marisa P. Mirana.
Moving on, here is SDO Mandaue City, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Nympha D. Bongo, School Governance and Operation Division Adeline C. Luarez, and Schools Division Focal Person Romela V. Senliza. And the school winner is Mandaue City Central School, headed by Alma J. Bardoquillo, and School Feeding Coordinator Maria Cristina E. Panales.
And now we have SDO Naga City, with their Schools Division Superintendent, Rosalie M. Pasaud, and the School Governance and Operations Division, Anne-Marie C. Bandola, and the Schools Division Focal Person, Janice East Tumimbang. And the school winner is Sipok Elementary School, with their school head, Jenny S. Bartolabak, and the school feeding coordinator, Mariandu A. Manliquez.
To continue, here is SDO Negros Oriental, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Senen P. Pauline, School Governance and Operation Division Rachel B. Picardal, and the Schools Division Focal Person Suzette S. Onde and Julie A. Sibol. And the school winner is Tayasan Central School, headed by Eden B. Dangangan, and School Feeding Coordinator Riza B. Luzuriaga.
To continue, here is SDO Sikihor with the School Division Superintendent Neri C. Ocastro, with our School Governance and Operations Division Chief Angie T. Manginsay, and the Schools Division Focal Person is Alili M. Bucero. And the school winner is Tambisan Elementary School, with our school head Josephine B. Civiliano, and the School Feeding Coordinator is Loida Y. Bufon.
And now let's proceed to the SDO Talisay City, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Evangel M. Luminarias, School Governance and Operations Division Rosario Dioco, and Schools Division Focal Person Dolores O. Almendras. And the school winner is Haklupan Elementary School, headed by Nelda D. Nayon, and the School Feeding Coordinator Beverly B. Bastida.
Now let's proceed to SDO Tanjay City, and the Schools Division Superintendent is Maria Teresa V. Avanzado. School Governance and Operations Division Chief Milagros G. Soyo. Schools Division Focal Person Maria Saiza Isabel G. Caballo. And the school winner is San Jose Elementary School, with their school head Hans Andersen Torres, School Feeding Coordinator Gladys K. D. Baku.
At this moment, we would also like to acknowledge the efforts of the following SDOs for implementing the school-based feeding program. From SDO Bohol, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Bayanito A. Dagatan, School Governance and Operations Division Desiderio V. Deleguero, and the School Division Focal Person Fe M. Libon.
Moving on, here is SDO Karkar City, the Schools Division Superintendent Ronald G. Gutay, School Governance and Operations Division Chief Akelo A. Rentaloza, and the Schools Division Focal Person is Ineza Ren E. Sarania.
And now let's proceed to SDO Tagbilaran City, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Joseph Erwin A. Lagura, School Governance and Operations Division Beatriz C. Luga, and the Schools Division's Focal Person Nicasio L. Degamo.
And now we have SDO Toledo City, with the Schools Division Superintendent Orlando G. Ganado. School Governance and Operations Division, Gemma Gay T. Alves, and the Schools Division Focal Persons, Blessed G. Patenio and Christine Marie G. Patenio.
Salamat, Ms. Chin and Ms. Jo Marie Chan. Coming up are the school winners from regions 8 and 9. Ms. Pam, presented by Ms. Ermina F. Garcia, Technical Assistant 2, and Ms. Michelle Ann Roquinho, Technical Assistant 1.
Heard the entry schools from Region 7, ito naman po ang mga entries sa Region 8.
Miss Irmi, ano-anong schools nga ba ang napasa sa Region 8?
Miss Mitch, let us continue with Region 8, headed by Regional Director Evelyn R. Fetalvero, with their ESSD Chief Isidro C. Catubig, and their SBFP Regional Focal Person, Adara Lourdes S. Luaton.
Let's start with SDO Baybay City, headed by SDS Carmelino P. Bernadas, SGO D. Robinson L. Garcia, and the Schools Division Focal Person Gian P. Araneta. And the school winner is Sapa Elementary School, headed by Girly A. Cantoneros, and their school feeding coordinator Abigail O. Sevilla.
So partner, let's proceed to SDO Leyte, headed by SDS Manuel P. Albano, SGOD Chief Gil R. Esplanada, and their school's division focal person Riza A. Soyu. And the school winner is Inopacat Central School, headed by Edita S. Oka, and their school feeding coordinator Mercedita C. Cabiok.
To continue, let's proceed to SDO Samar, headed by SDS Carmela R. Tomayo, SGOD Clarita M. Menda, and their school's division focal person Ivy J. Yalu. And the school winner is Kandoyokan Elementary School, headed by Ruel M. Babon, and their school feeding coordinator Maria Agnes C. Abantao.
Partner, at this moment, we would also like to acknowledge the following schools division offices and their personnel for implementing the school-based feeding program last year for school year 2020-2021.
Here are the following SDOs. SDO Biliran, headed by SDS Judelia R. Lumpas, SGOD Lucille C. Roa, and their schools division focal person Girly D. Cagnan.
Partner from SDO Borongan City, headed by SDS Gorgonio G. Diaz Jr., SGOD Chief June Lilu T. Dulco, and their school's division focal person Maria Teresa V. Amidar.
From SDO Calbayog City, headed by SDS Telma C. Kitalig, SGOD Ubaldo D. Umangay, and their schools division focal person Maria Bella B. Ortiz, and Adrian Marie C. Nuevo.
From SDO Catbalogan City, headed by SDS Marilyn D. Siao, SGOD Chief Maribel C. Ruedas, and their school's division focal person Sandra C. Galitan.
From SDO Eastern Samar, headed by SDS Bernardo A. Adina, SGOD Maricel C. Evardone, and their school's division focal person Linalyn A. Almo.
From SDO Maasin City, headed by SDS Jocelyn S. Solana, SGOD Chief Josefina L. Matibag, and their school's division focal person Jane C. Persabat.
From SDO Northern Samar, headed by SDS Raul D. Agban, SGOD Noe M. Hermoseria, and their school's division focal person Camelia B. Nemil.
From SDO Ormoc City, headed by SDS Lani H. Cervantes, SGOD Chief Artemia G. Lloberas, and their school's division focal person Charcher M. Brilata.
From SDO Southern Leyte, headed by SDS Jenice Moralios, SGOD Alfredo M. Bayon, and their school's division focal person Charife V. Aroy.
Partner, and for our last but definitely not the least, we will go to the SDO of Tacloban City, headed by SDS Mariza S. Magan, SGOD Chief Melanie D. Escobarte, and their school's division focal person, Dorothy R. Antoni. Miss Mitch, please do the honor to present the school winners from Region 9.
Thank you, Miss Irmi. From Region 9, headed by Regional Director Ruth L. Fuentes, ESSD.
Sa pa po, ma'am. Ruth L. Fuentes. Ready? Regional Office.
Thank you, Miss Irmi. From Region 9, headed by Regional Director Ruth L. Fuentes, ESSD Chief Sheila Rose B. Apiag, and their SBFP Regional Focal Person, Fe P. Sigilio.
Partner, let's start with SDO Dipolog City, headed by SDS Virgilio P. Batan Jr., SGOD Chief Nur Hussein, and their school's division focal persons, Joanne M. Bourbon, Cili Del B. Timosa, Chris Ray A. Herrera. And the school winner is Upper Dicayas Integrated School, headed by Liro Jane Tindugan, And the school feeding coordinator is Glenda P. Tingal.
From SDO Isabela City, headed by SDS Julieto H. Fernandez, SGOD Eduardo G. Gulang, and their school division focal person, Mary Joy R. Duzon. And the school winner is Malamawi Central Elementary School, headed by Rasida J. Haman, and their school feeding coordinator, Imelda M. Miparano.
Let's proceed to SDO Pagadian City, headed by SDO Danny B. Cordova, SGOD Chief Isagani B. Cabajo, and their school's division focal persons, Alvic S. Roda, Mary Jane F. Ampong, and Lucille E. Cagoco. And the school winner is Kawit Elementary School, headed by Edson A. Larot. And the school feeding coordinator is Doribel D. Manto.
From SDO Zamboanga City, headed by SDS Roy C. Tubaya, SGOD Rosario B. Contorno, and their school's division focal person, Rowena E. Lusaya. And the school winner is Tatuan Central School Sped Center, headed by Edsel R. Francisco, and their school feeding coordinator, Roseler M. Non.
From SDO Zamboanga del Norte, headed by SDS Maria Liza A. Tabilon, SGOD Chief Joy L. Singson, and their school's division focal person, Cheryl B. Ocupe. And the school winner is Santa Maria Elementary School, headed by Ray Ann P. Prayon. The school feeding coordinator is Margie C. Paating.
From SDO Zamboanga del Sur, headed by SDS Maharani M. Jacinto, SGOD Ernesto F. Tardo, and their school's division focal person, Aimee E. Alonzo, and Dorolyn S. Amigable. And the school winner is Leporejan Elementary School, headed by Charlemagne R. Rabacal, and their school feeding coordinator, Renelda M. Malco. Ms. Irmi, we would like also to acknowledge the efforts of schools division offices and their personnel for implementing the SBFP School Year 2020-2021. Please do the honor.
Thank you, Ms. Mitch. So now let's proceed to SDO Dapitan City, headed by SDS Felix Romy A. Triangulo, SGOD Chief Sherlito E. Sagapsapan, and their school's division focal person, William C. Elumba.
From SDO Zamboanga Sibugay, headed by SDS Janeline A. Aliman, SGOD Jerry C. Bukingkito, and their school's division focal person, Veneza Faith M. Lowry. From SDO Zamboanga Sibugay, headed by SDS Janeline A. Aliman, SGOD Jerry C. Bukingkito, and their school's division focal person, Veneza Faith M. Lowry. Thank you so much for participating.
Again, congratulations to all the regional winners. Back to you, Teacher Pam and Teacher Marco.
Thank you so much. At ngayon naman, tunghayan natin, Sir Marco, ang mga school winners mula sa Regions 10 and 11. This is, of course, to be presented by Mr. and Mrs. Ferdinand and Dorothy Nunez, Technical Assistant 2 and Administrative Officer Designate.
Elementary schools from Region 9. Ito naman po ngayon, entry ng Region 10. Ano-ano nga bang school ang nanalo dito?
Okay, thank you, partner. Let us continue with Region 10, headed by the Regional Director, Dr. Arturo B. Bayocot, ESSD Chief Myron Hill B. Talosig, and their SBFP Regional Focal Persons, Hannah Lizelle K. Ratunil, and Ricardo G. Dragon.
From SDO Bukidnon, under the leadership of the SDS, Randolph B. Tortola, School Governance and Operation Division, Artemio Ray S. Adar, School Division Focal Person, Juniel Ray R. Abandiano, and the school winner is Pangantukan Central Elementary School. Ray G. Samonte as their school head, and the school feeding coordinators, Renalyn N. Cardente and Tima B. Gasal.
Okay, thank you. From SDO Camiguin, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Edgardo V. Abanil, SGOD Chief Lalaine E. Lopena, Schools Division Focal Person Mary Ann T. Luspo. And the school winner is Chiboro Elementary School, with their school head, Chona C. Dumdumaya, and their school feeding coordinator, Ruby N. Hongayo.
From Cagayan de Oro City Divisions, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent, Cherry May L. Limbaco Reyes, SGOD Chief, Rosalio Al Vitolino. Schools Division Focal Persons, Maria Isabel T. Chavez and Sharon T. Polancos, Joan A. Arsua. And the school winner is Corrales Elementary School, school head Andy P. Lingsanan, and school feeding coordinator Christy C. Mahinay.
From SDO El Salvador, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Olga C. Alonsabe, SGOD Chief Rolly D. Labis, and the Schools Division Focal Person Cecil Z. Cobuntin. And the school winner is Sambulawan Elementary School, with their school head Sammy S. Tres Reyes and the school feeding coordinator Jeneline J. Cabaron.
Now we go to SDO Hinoog City, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Jesnar Dems S. Torres, SGOD Chief Joy C. Manggubat, and Schools Division Focal Persons Marvin C. Asetre and Lindell Jean P. Sahilan. And the school winner is Talipay Central School. Ruben S. Sual as their head, and school feeding coordinator Linibet P. Bahian.
From SDO Iligan City, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Roy Angelo E. Gazo, SGOD Division Chief Shambay A. Abantas Usman, Schools Division Focal Persons Rod Brian E. Glova, and Swain D. Ege. And the school winner is Tambo Elementary School, with their school head Enerio E. Ebiza. School feeding coordinator Aldora R. Lebum Pasil.
From SDO Lanao del Norte, under the leadership of their Schools Division Superintendent Gilberto L. Ople Aria, SGOD Chief Maria Carmela T. Ablin, and Schools Division Focal Person Amante L. Damayo and King Rose S. Ebo. And the school winner is Kapatagan East Central School, with their school head Grace M. Deloria. Of course, with their school feeding coordinator Maria Lourdes C. Carpentero.
Okay, for SDO Malaybalay City, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Victoria V. Gazo, SGOD Chief Lorenzo O. Capasio, Schools Division Focal Person Isa Fatima M. Un, and the school winner is Canayan Integrated School, with their school heads Amor Celeste P. Rojas and Archie B. Ducusi. School feeding coordinators Marites B. Bacawag, and Lorna L. Malapat.
Thank you. From the SDO Misamis Occidental, under the leadership of their school's division superintendent, Edwin R. Maribojo, SGOD Chief, Cor T. Blanco, and school's division focal person, Raquel N. Acompañado. And the school winner is Duan Central Elementary School, with their school head, Claudio T. Catalon, and school feeding coordinator, Cresani M. Lopez.
From SDO Misamis Oriental, under the leadership of the school's division superintendent, Jonathan S. De La Peña, SGOD Chief Maria Teresa M. Absin, and the school's division focal persons, Abigail J. Israel, and Maria Cecilia C. Bachinella. And the school winner is Balingasag Central School, with their school head, Adelina C. Hapona, and Janina L. Naduna as the school feeding coordinator.
Okay, so from SDO Oroquieta City, under the leadership of the school's division superintendent, Reynaldo E. Manuel Jr., SGOD Chief, Perlinita G. Glodove, and school's division focal person, Gwen R.V. G. Balahadja. And the school winner is Dolitos Alto Elementary School, with their school head, Don S. Catugal. Their school feeding coordinator, Rosemin M. Cobrilla.
Okay, from SDO Osamis City, under the school's division superintendent, Jean G. Veloso, SGOD Chief Susan Epifania B. Carpio, and their school's division focal person, Salome T. Villa. And the school winner is Labos Central School, with their school head, Marjorie A. Sagario, and their school feeding coordinator, Grace C. Badong.
From SDO Tangub City, under the supervision of their school's division superintendent, Agustin E. Sepe, SGOD Chief, Mirna T. Regidor, and school division's focal person, Winnie T. Mendoza. And the school winner is Lorenzo Tan Memorial Central School. Their school head, Tichi Ni F. Roloma, and school feeding coordinator, Arnel S. Cubero.
Okay, from SDO Valencia City, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Rowena H. Paraon, SGOD Chief Esther V. Tabanyag, with their Schools Division focal person Lara May F. Magubat. And the school winner is Pantaron Elementary School, with their school head Ronald I. Flores Jr., with their school feeding coordinator Estrella G. Arafiles.
Now we heard entry schools from Region 10. Ngayon, ibigay naman natin ang schools ng Region 11. Partner, ano-ano kayang schools ang nanalo sa Region 11?
Okay, let us continue with the Region 11, headed by the Regional Director, Dr. Alan G. Farnazo, ESSD Chief Dr. Warlito E. Hua, SBFP Regional Focal Persons, Raisa T. Zilda, and Nelly Clemencia S. Fabia.
Okay, so from SDO Davao de Oro, under the leadership of their school's division superintendent, Euphemia T. Gamutin, SGOD Chief, Ruben J. Reponte, Schools Division Focal Person, Ronald Alan J. Higgins, and the school winner is Nuevo Iloco Elementary School, with their school head, Ian D. Lolo, and school feeding coordinator, Bonalyn C. Macamus.
From SDO Davao City, under the leadership of the Schools Division Superintendent Reynaldo N. Guillena, SGOD Chief Teresita F. Del Valle, and the Schools Division Focal Person Roxanne P. Pugara. And the school winner is San Miguel Integrated School, with their school head Olimpio O. Heraldes, and the school feeding coordinator Rinalyn C. Bedolido.
Now we go from SDO Davao del Norte under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent B. B. Silva, SGOD Chief Ramel M. Tilo, and Schools Division Focal Person Gary D. De Vera. And the school winner is Maniki Central Elementary School. Their school head Randy T. Lumapat and school feeding coordinator Emily P. Dorotan.
From SDO Davao del Sur, under the leadership of the Schools Division Superintendent Nelson C. Lopez, SGOD Chief Mario C. Mondejar, the Schools Division Focal Person Jenny Rose A. Solitana. And the school winner is Santa Cruz Central Elementary School, with their school head Hazel V. Luna and Vanessa L. Loque, the school feeding coordinator.
From SDO Davao Occidental, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Lorenzo E. Mendoza, SGOD Chief Milo L. Octura, Schools Division Focal Person Maria Ann Grace D. Razonable, and the school winner is Lawa Central Elementary School. Their school head Marisol C. Naval, under school feeding coordinator Maristel R. Bicoy.
Okay, thank you. From SDO Davao Oriental, under the leadership of the Schools Division Superintendent Reynaldo B. Meliorida, SGOD Chief Ernesto H. Cabanes, and the Schools Division Focal Person Stephen H. Moscatel. And the school winner is Juan Mapayo Elementary School, with their school head Erwin M. Casagda and the school feeding coordinator Marilu D. Wagas.
From SDO Digos City, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Christy C. Epe, SGOD Chief Soli B. Oliver, Schools Division Focal Person Hazel Marie L. Escabillas. And the school winner is Ramon Magsaysay Central Elementary School. Their school head Mario M. Andales and school feeding coordinator Sia P. Diaz.
Okay, from SDO Igaco City, under the leadership of the Schools Division Superintendent Winnie E. Bataon, SGOD Chief J.C. Nang, Schools Division Focal Person Jocelyn L. Alvarez. And the school winner is Angel Villarica Central Elementary School, with their school head Maria Riva R. Contreras, and the school feeding coordinator Josel V. Alias.
From SDO Mati City, under the leadership of their Schools Division Superintendent Alona C. Uy, SGOD Chief Jolie S. Uy, and School Division Focal Person Pritzi A. Apara. And the school winner is Asuncion Rondina Perez Elementary School. School head Ramel G. Awaaw, and school feeding coordinator Ian J. O. Palabras.
From SDO Panabo City, under the leadership of the Schools Division Superintendent Reynante A. Solitario, SGOD Chief Eileen B. Año Nuevo, Schools Division Focal Person Maria Susette B. Flores. And the school winner is Rizal Elementary School with their school head Ramilin F. Antalan, the school feeding coordinator Loveline O. Petarial.
From SDO Tagum City, under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Josephine L. Padul, SGOD Chief Sipina B. Palaka, and Schools Division Focal Person Judith S. Labha. And the school winner is San Agustin Elementary School, School Head Bridget B. Asas, and School Feeding Coordinator Jem P. Suber.
Okay, thank you, partner. And thank you so much for participating. And again, congratulations to all the regional winners. Back to you, Teacher Pam and Teacher Marco.
Grabe naman, Miss Pam ang kilig sa mag-asawang ito.
Medyo natulala nga ako sa kanilang titigan tuwing nag-a-announce sila ng mga winners. Ano?
Grabe sila. Okay, salamat po Sir Ferdy and Ma'am Dorothy. Next are the school winners from Region 12 to be presented by Miss Magdalene Portia T. Cariaga, OIC Assistant Chief, and Miss Hazel Joy V. Katakutan, Technical Assistant 1.
With the announcement of winners from Region 11, let us continue with the announcement of winners from Region 12, headed by the Regional Director, Dr. Carlito D. Rocafort, with their ESSD Chief, Dr. Napoleon J. Gio, and ang kasama nating si Miss Maria Lourdes Ines, ang kanilang Regional Focal Person. Shall we announce the winners from Region 12, Hazel?
Yes, Ma'am Len. Let's start with SDO Cotabato under the leadership of Schools Division Superintendent Isagani S. de la Cruz, SGOD Chief Roberto Montero, and Schools Division Focal Persons Nodeline R. Kulig and Riza B. Baku. And the school winner is Sinayawan Elementary School with their school head Richard G. Laguna and school feeding coordinator Benny Rose S. Almirante. Next is General Santos City under the leadership of SDS Romelito G. Flores, SGOD Chief Victorino A. Fuentes Jr., and Schools Division Focal Person Ana Riza C. Napila. And the school winner is Ignacio D. Solis Senior Elementary School with their school head Irene S. Putamora and school feeding coordinator Julie P. Cardeno.
From SDO Kidapawan City, Schools Division Superintendent Natividad G. Ocon, SGOD Chief Remigio H. Orias, Schools Division Focal Person Teresita B. Bustamante. And the school winner is Datu Saliman Elementary School with their school head Rubigen B. Filomeno and Eileen F. Pino. From SDO Coronadal City, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Crispin A. Sullivan Jr., SGOD Chief Danilo C. Abanil, and Schools Division Focal Person Jake S. Lasagna. And the school winner is Kakub Elementary School with their school head Ray T. De La Rosa and school feeding coordinator Jeneline B. Kufan.
Mula naman sa SDO Sarangani, under the leadership of Hildo G. Mosqueda, their Schools Division Superintendent, and SGOD Chief Shirley M. Cardinal, with their School Division Focal Person Mitzi M. Wata. And the school winner is Nat'l Angas Integrated School, under the leadership of School Head Rob H. Masalon, and School Feeding Coordinator Arnold L. Lacapan. Ngayon naman from SDO South Cotabato, under SDS Ruth L. Estacio, with their SGOD Chief Christopher T. Frusa, and Schools Division Focal Person Lilibet E. Cuna. And the school winner is Teresita Elementary School, with school head Leia F. Pradas, and school feeding coordinator Bridget D. Nemeno.
From SDO Sultan Kudarat, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Leonardo M. Balala and SGOD Chief Mohalidin M. Suwaef, and Schools Division Focal Person Johay Gay K. Temen. And the school winner is Bombad Central Elementary School, with their school head Laning C. Linda and school feeding coordinator Mayreen H. Isata. From SDO Tacorong City, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Miguel P. Filialan Jr., SGOD Chief Mayflor D. Romualdo, and Schools Division Focal Person Catherine Joy Q. Maratas. And the school winner is Maria A. Montilla Memorial Elementary School, with their school head Maria Eva P. Belgira and school feeding coordinator Carol L. Ledesma.
Thank you so much for participating, and again, congratulations to all our winners.
Back to you, Teacher Pam and Teacher Mark.
Ayun naman, ano? Ilang regions na lang ang aantayin natin, Sir Marco, and I'm so excited. Thank you, Ma'am Len and Miss Hazel. Kaya ituloy na natin ito. Next to be presented are the school winners from Caraga region. And to present, we have Miss Mayling V. Duhig, Health Education and Promotion Officer 3, and Miss Hazel Joy V. Katakutan.
And now, we are done with the announcement of winners from Region 12.
Let us continue with Caraga Region, headed by the Regional Director, Maria Gemma M. Ledesma, with their ESSD Chief, Bernabe L. Linog, and the SBFP Regional Focal Person, Ms. Nelia L. Balakwi.
Now let's proceed to SDO Agusan del Norte, headed by SDS Romeo O. Aprovechar, SDO Chief Lorena S. Ciclon, and SDO Focal Person Chana M. Aquino. And the school winner is Hagupit Elementary School, with their school head Marivic M. Garillo and school feeding coordinator Aris May L. Asherto. From SDO Agusan del Sur, headed by SDS winner Patti Albi, SGO Chief Orlando F. Gamil, and Schools Division Focal Persons Clarissa C. Tadle and Ronalisa T. Galaura. And the school winner is Santa Josefa Central Elementary School with SPED program, with their school head Alderic O. Guevara and school feeding coordinator Rina C. Bahinti.
To continue, here is SDO Bayugan City, headed by SDS Imelda N. Sabornido, SGOD Wilson C. Calvo, and Schools Division Focal Persons Ana Lu M. Cordova and Mary Grace C. Diamante. And now we have SDO Bislig City, headed by SDS Gregoria T. Su, SGOD Demosthenes J. Kinal, and School Division Focal Person Maria Azucena L. Castillo. And the school winner is Coleto Elementary School, with school head Mirasol R. Benablo and school feeding coordinator Fernando P. Fernandez Jr.
From SDO Butuan City, headed by SDS Marilu V. Dedumo, SGO Chief Ana P. Lasco, and Schools Division Focal Persons Vilma A. Sobrevilla and Cecilia V. Nuwer. And the school winner is Tagabaca Integrated School, with their school head Charlo G. Ayuban and school feeding coordinator Cristeta B. Gingo. From SDO Cabadbaran City, headed by SDS Jeannie L. Mativo, SGO the Chief Leveline S. Bacleon, and Schools Division Focal Person Virgiline A. Linconada. And the school winner is Soriano Elementary School, with their school head Jessie J. Mondehar and school feeding coordinator Rhea P. Tomarlo.
Moving on, here is SDO Dinagat Islands, headed by SDS Felisa G. Laranjo, SGOD Mila O. Heraldino, and School Division Focal Person Elgin J. Borja. And the school winner is Santa Cruz Elementary School, headed by Mary Jane L. Gis de Ortega, and school feeding coordinator Mia J. L. Dialde. And now we have SDO Siargao, headed by SDS Nelia S. Lumoxo, SGOD Harem L. Taruk, and School Division Focal Person Hilarita S. Omoy. And the school winner is the Pa Central Elementary School and SPED Center, headed by Kem E. Abuton and School Feeding Coordinator Gina P. Cavite.
To continue, here is SDO Surigao City, headed by SDS Karen L. Galanida, SGOD Chief Elizabeth S. Larase, and Schools Division Focal Person Gilberto M. Namua. And the school winner is San Jose Elementary School, with their school head Marlena G. Rasanable and school feeding coordinator Nalita Esca. From SDO Surigao del Norte, headed by SDS Maria Teresa M. Real, SGOD Chief Julieta R. B. Hurtadazo, and Schools Division Focal Person Hazel May M. Ladroma. And the school winner is Quezon Elementary School, with their school head Alvin M. Buniel and school feeding coordinator Jennifer R. Ninyal. From SDO Tandag City, headed by Schools Division Superintendent Gemma A. DepEd, SGOD Chief Gregorio C. Labrado, and Schools Division Focal Person Rudaline B. Azarcon. And the school winner is Bangtud Elementary School, with their school head John Michael A. Tudor and school feeding coordinator Heidi G. Animo.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you for participating. And again, congratulations to all the regional winners.
Back to you, Teacher Pam and Teacher Marco.
Salamat, Ma'am May and Miss Hazel. We are now down to our last two regions. We have the school winners from CAR and NCR. And to present are Miss Maria Lee L. Alberto, Nurse 2, and Miss Gail Harriet C. De La Rosa, Technical Assistant 1.
We just heard the entry schools from Caraga regions. Moving on, here are the entry schools for the National Capital Region.
Yes, Ma'am Lee. Ano nga bang mga schools ang napasama sa National Capital Region?
To continue from the National Capital Region with the Regional Director, Wilfredo E. Cabral, ESSD Chief, Crisanto A. Isita, and the SBFP Regional Focal Persons, Maribel D. Bajaro and Jocelyn P. Pabilio.
Now let's proceed to SDO Caloocan City, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent, Nerissa L. Losaria, with their SDOG Chief, IBC Perez, and with the Schools Division Focal Person, Maria Joy D. Geronimo. And the school winner is Santo Niño Elementary School, headed by Naomi L. Rivera, and with the school feeding coordinator, Aloha L. Manugit.
For SDO Las Piñas City, we have Joel T. Torrecampo, their Schools Division Superintendent, SGOD Chief Aldrin G. Corpin, the Schools Division Focal Person, Liwi Riza P. Eusebio, and the school winner is CAA Elementary School, with the school head Minerva B. Aroza and the school feeding coordinator Ninji B. Bacola.
Up next is SDO Makati City, headed by the Schools Division Superintendent, Carlene S. Cedilia, with their SDOD Chief, Rosalie A. Tronco, and with their Schools Division Focal Person, Lonida P. Lumacan. And the school winner is La Paz Elementary School, headed by the school head, Alma C. Adona, and the school feeding coordinator, Feli C. Kakam.
For SDO Malabon City, we have the Schools Division Superintendent, Mauro C. Degulan, SGO Chief, Sherilyn B. Adelino, the Schools Division Focal Person, Arlene M. Ramos, and the school winner is Concepcion Elementary School, with the school head, Milibeth D. Ruiz, and the school feeding coordinator,
Daniel J. Romasanta.
Up next is from SDO Mandaluyong City, headed by the school's Division Superintendent Romela M. Cruz, with their SDOD Chief Emma G. Arubio, and their school's Division Focal Person Arlene C. Cagalawan. And their school winner is Mandaluyong Elementary School, with their school head Elvira R. Canilao and the school feeding coordinator Lawrence Joy I. Manliklik.
For SDO Manila, we have the school's division superintendent, Maria Magdalena M. Lim, with SGOD Chief Virgilio A. Santos, with the school's division focal person, Marita K. Bayani, Joseph Christopher S. De Guzman. And the school winner is Fernando Maria Guerrero Elementary School, with the school head, Randy E. Emen, and the school feeding coordinator, Feliciana G. Javier.
From SDO Marikina City, with the school's division superintendent, Cheryl T. Gayola, and with the school's governance and operations division, Elizaide Q. Sena, and with their school's division focal person, Mariel Ann R. Aguirre. And the school winner is Kalumpang Elementary School, headed by Mila M. Casilao, and the school feeding coordinator, Primitiva E. El Balbuena.
Next is SDO Muntinlupa City. We have the school's division superintendent, Domenico C. Idanan, with the SGOD Chief, Nerissa Rojas Lumeda, school's division focal person, Maria Teresa S. Indap. And the school winner is Itaas Elementary School, with the school head, Antonio C. Gagala, and the school feeding coordinator, Joshila O. Juanito.
Up next is from the SDO Navotas City, with the school's division superintendent, Alejandro G. Ibanez, and with their SDOD chief, Gemma C. Villaluna, and with their school's division focal person, Mary Jane M. Mendiola. And the school winner is Dagat-Dagatan Elementary School, with their school head, Sonia M. Padrenal, and their school's feeding coordinator, Reynaldo E. Mateos.
Yes, up next, we have SDO Pasay City. We have the school's division superintendent, Loretta B. Torrecampo, the SGOD chief, Mirna B. Gaza, and the school's division focal person, we have Maria Rizel G. Enriquez Reyes. And the school winner is Timoteo Paez Elementary School, with the school head, Glenda D. Tabakirao, and the school feeding coordinators, Diane B. Kitay and Edwina I. Dola.
Now let's proceed to SDO Quezon City, headed by their school's division superintendent, Jenilyn Rose B. Corpus, with their SDOD chief, Maria Teresa A. Namoro, and with their school's division focal person, Mirna D. Ditan. And the school winner is Betty Go Elementary School, with their school head, Alicia F. Masubay, and the school feeding coordinator, Joanna B. Maricostes.
For SDO San Juan City, we have the school's division superintendent, Cecil G. Carandang, SGOD chief, we have Dominic P. Rivera, and the school's division focal person, Michelle Shilito C. Abraham. And the school winner is San Juan Elementary School, with the school head, Lloyd P. Tulaylay, and school feeding coordinator, Marilyn V. Ramos.
To continue, here is SDO Taguig City and Pateros, headed with their school's division superintendent, Margarito B. Materum, with their SDO chief, George P. Tizon, and the school's division focal person, Jeanette B. Urbana. And the school winner is Ricardo P. Cruz Senior Elementary School, with their school head, Cipriano M. Disco Jr., and their school feeding coordinator, Marisa M. Bayuca.
For SDO Valenzuela City, we have the school's division superintendent, Meliton B. Zorbano, SGOD Chief, Baltazar M. Gayem, with the school's division focal person, Jennifer E. Dadula. And the school winner is Malinta Elementary School, with the school head, Nerissa A. Espino, and the school feeding coordinator, Imelda H. Makibulan.
At this point, we would like to also acknowledge those SDO focal persons who implemented the school-based feeding program for the school year 2020-2021. From SDO Parañaque City, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent, Evangeline P. Ladines, with their SDOD Chief, Telma F. Montiel, and their Schools Division Focal Person, Alan Julius N. Bagayan.
For SDO Pasig City, we have the school's division superintendent, Maria Evalu Concepcion A. Agustin. And the SGOD chief, we have Victor M. Havena, and the school's division focal person, Catherine C. Martinez. Ma'am Gail, at this point, we are going to present the school winners from Cordillera Administrative Region. Ma'am Gail, please do the honors.
Yes, Ma'am Lee. Here are from the Cordillera Administrative Region, headed by the Regional Director, Estela L. Carino, with their ESSD Chief, Edgar H. Madlaing, and the Regional SBFP Focal Persons, Diane B. Joaquin, Michelle B. Andaya, and Angeline F. Calatan.
With SDO Abra, we have the school's division superintendent, Benilda M. Daitaka, with SGOD Chief, Lemuel B. Dixon, and the school's division focal person, Estrelita A. Chares. And the school winner is Nangobongan Primary School, with the school head, Windelma P. Alcantara, and the school feeding coordinator, Lerma C. Veronilla.
Up next is from SDO Baguio City, with the Schools Division Superintendent, Federico P. Martin, with their SDOD Chief, Arthur Tiongan, and their Schools Division Focal Persons, Jojit F. De Vera and Shira Gail C. Miranda. And the school winner is Jose P. Rizal Elementary School, with their school head, Joseph A. Estigoy, and their school feeding coordinator, Sebia P. Batayan.
And from SDO Benguet, we have the school's division superintendent, Gloria B. Buyao, with the SGOD chief, Lucio B. Alawas, and the school's division focal person, Rose Virginie D. Kilip. And the school winner is Lepanto Elementary School, with the school head, Abdon C. Costian, and the school feeding coordinator, Josephine B. Perez.
To continue, here is SDO Ifugao, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent, Soraya T. Faculio, with their SDOD Chief, Jacqueline C. Lunag, and their Schools Division Focal Person. To continue, here is SDO Ifugao, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent, Soraya T. Faculo, with their SDOD Chief, Jacqueline C. Lunag, and their Schools Division Focal Person, Ann Karen C. Otgalon. And the school winner is Tinok Elementary School, with their school head, Vilma T. Atlatis, and their school feeding coordinator, Viola L. Gapus.
From SDO Kalinga, we have the school's division superintendent, Amador D. Garcia, SGOD chief, Bernardo L. Ganotice Jr. We have school's division focal person, Shirley Ann B. Doquies, and the school winner is Magaugao Elementary School, with the school head, Mary Joy T. Anggapoy, and school feeding coordinator, Florentina I. Cabugao.
To continue, here is SDO Mountain Province, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent, Sally B. Ulyalim, with their SDOD Chief, Jean Claire F. Bugalan, and their School Division Focal Person, Mary D. Galingan. And the school winner is Boutique Elementary School, with their school head, Julieta A. Langbayan, and their school feeding coordinator, Lita C. Bayon.
For SDO Tabuk City, we have student Irene F.Y. Schools Division Focal Person, we have Jocelyn A. Dakiwa. And the school winner is Lana Elementary School, with the school head, Amado B. Danao, and the school feeding coordinator, Emma Ruth R. Ramos.
At this juncture, we would also like to acknowledge the efforts of SDO Apayao for implementing the school-based feeding program for the school year 2020-2021, headed by their Schools Division Superintendent, Benedicta B. Gamatero, with their SDOD Chief, Gilbert F. Villanueva, and their Schools Division Focal Person, Perfecto R. Manuel.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Gail, atin pong natunghayan ang mga winning schools and regions for the first ever national search for the most outstanding school-based feeding program implementers for school year 2020-2021. To all of you, thank you so much and congratulations. Back to you, Ma'am Pam and Sir Marco.
And there we have it, Sir Marco. Sobrang nakatutuwa at sobra talaga overwhelming ang narinig natin kaninang mga announcements. So siguro, the best that we could do right now is to give everybody a round of applause for all the school winners coming from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Congratulations and the spirit sa pagiging masipag, matyaga at may malasakit sa ating mga learner beneficiaries.
So mula kaninang umaga, Miss Pam, natunghayan natin ang iba't ibang messages of inspiration mula sa ating mga top executives. Kamusta sa Zoom?
Kamustahin natin sila, no?
Yeah.
Ay,
natin na sa Zoom. Kamustahin natin sila.
Ikaw ba? Kamusta ngayon ito, Sir Marco?
I'm great and I'm very, very happy kasi for the very first time tayo ay naimbitahan ng ating kaibigan from the School Health Division para mag-conduct na itong first ever awarding ceremony nila for the School Health Division school-based feeding program.
At umaasa ako, Sir Marco, na ang taon na yan, wala tayong maanyayahan, ano? Mukhang. Kaya naman yung sa mga, we're expecting somehow your cameras are already open. Naku po, tayo, open ng camera. Yan.
Let's see participants from different regions. Ako si Ma'am from one, yung nakapula.
Ayan, nakikita na natin silang lahat ngayon. Ayan.
Wow, hi Ma'am, magandang tanghali. Magandang umaga po sa inyo, Dian.
Ayan, yung mga nasa Region 4. Ayan, so tingnan natin ng maigi ha, buksan na natin ang ating camera. Kung nakabukas nga pong inyong camera na, siguro ano, pakakawain ba natin, Sir Marco, o puso?
Bigyan na opportunity na para makasama tayo.
Oh, ayan, so pakibuksan po ang camera at kaway-kaway, magse-selfie po tayo ng kasama kami. Tayo ba ang may honor o silang tayo na makasama
Masaya
sila,
po
no?
Kami makasama kayo ngayon para mga awardees namin, kaya mag-video nyo na po kami.
Ayan.
Yung mga sigurong selfie lang.
Sige, bibigyan namin kayo ng 5 seconds to ready and at we're going to have another 5 seconds para po makakuha kayo ng picture. So, yon, selfie muna tayo sa Zoom. Later, meron pa tayong isang selfie. So, now, sige, po natin. We're giving you 5 seconds to get yourselves ready. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 5 seconds to smile. Ready?
Alam mo, Ms. Pam, nakakatuwa dito sa loob ng ating hall sapagkat yung ating mga kasamahan sa
loob, no?
School-based feeding program, si SHD, si School Health Division. Ayun, nakikiselfie din sa likod.
Ayan, may kumukuha rin ng picture sa atin, kaya magsiselfie pa tayo ng isang beses. Another 5 seconds para mag-ready, and then 5 more seconds for the picture taking. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get your for the okay.
At patuloy tayong nakakaw sa mga winners from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I know we are all excited, but we will just have a short break for our lunch, and we shall continue the program a bit later to announce the finalists and the grand winners.
And yes, partner, how we wish na nandito ang lahat ng awardees.
Exactly.
Sa nakikita na ang masasaya at mainit na reunion, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga SBFP implementers. Namin na may mga panakunan ng picture. Kaya we're gonna be doing 2 more rounds, 5 rounds of selfie. Dapat magbago rin yata tayo ng pwesto, no, Sir Marco? Ayan. So, first round of ulit ang ating camera. Kasama tayo sa ating pag-picture. So, ganun po ulit 5 seconds to prepare, 5 to take your shot.
Nakita ko yung mga smile sa mga nasa live feed natin sa Zoom. Si Sir, I'm sorry, hindi lang namin mabasa kung saan po rin. We are very happy na lahat kayo dyan, all smile.
Nakatingin sa kanila.
Nakita natin din, yung iba nasa opisina nila or mga nasa schools, nasa SDOs nila. Remember, yung ating pong health safety protocols, always wear your mask.
Lalo na kung marami talaga yun, no? Kayo naririyan, sige, pagbibigyan namin kayo. Okay, 5 seconds. First, selfie, okay? Ready? Get yourselves ready. 5 seconds, and then another 5 seconds to take the shot. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and picture na tayo. All right. Now to our next frame. Ayan. Next frame tayo. Ano ba susunod na? Posing. Puso. O, sige. Ready, everybody. Yung mga nasa frame, puso tayo, Okay, ready. Sabay-sabay pumuso. 5 seconds to prepare. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's take a shot.
Lahat sila all smiles.
Pumuso ba sila? We go now to our next frame, Sir Marco. Naubusan ako ng idea sa pagpipicture.
Okay. So,
okay.
Since it's lunchtime, okay?
Meron pa tayong pinangako na 3 pa. 2 pang frame.
Pa.
Okay. Sige, 2 pa. Let's do it. Open your cameras. Pakikita po natin. Akala nyo ba hindi namin nalalaman kung hindi namin na-selfie-han?
Nakakatawa, no? All over the Philippines, from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, different regional offices, SDOs, kasama natin ngayong araw na to. And yung mga winners, mga school winners, I know na naabisuhan na po kayo. Let's wait for the grand, announcement.
Pero last one muna tayo ng selfie natin, okay? Open your cameras. Siguro 2 thumbs up tayo sa pag-picture. 2 thumbs up. Okay, 5. Naku, hindi ko kayo nakikitang nagto-2 thumbs up. Yan. Okay, so ito ang ating last selfie for this seconds to prepare. All right? 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's take a shot. Okay.
Kung ganyan kasi actually, pa kaya kung face-to-face na?
Pero yun nga, Sir Marco, wala tayong magagawa. Virtual po tayo. Kaya dito lang po muna kami. At diyan po muna kayo, mga moms and sirs. At share lang din po tayo ng food virtually. Baka may paletsyon dyan si Mayor para sa ating mga grand. Alam mo, hindi, may bagong paraan ngayon ng lunch kahit malayo. Ano yung nagpapagrab?
Saan ako, ma'am, baka may magpaletsyon na SDO.
Oo, magpa-Gcash. Nandito lang po kami sa may bandang Mandaluyong. Meantime, ayun. Na lang po tayo, siguro sa director, ilagay ang ating GCash number sa ibaba.
Lagot tayo.
Biro lamang po. Request na lang ang ating mga participants na nasa Zoom na huwag na po kayong mag-log out. Yung mga participants po na nasa Zoom, huwag nang mag-log out at baka po kayo mahirapan pag bumalik mamaya. Samantala, Sir Marco, magkakaroon naman po tayo ng link para live feed para sa mga nakasubaybay sa DepEd Philippines Facebook page para sa ating session this afternoon. And start at exactly 1 p.m. So see you. Happy lunch, Sir Marco. Happy lunch sa ating lahat. See you later.
Hello teachers! Anong talento ang ipapakita ninyong mga taga-Region 6?
Ipapakita namin ang maikling video ng isang tribal dance na kinoreograph naming mga MAPI teachers.
Ang mga tugtog dito ay pinagtitagping musika galing sa YouTube. At ang pinaka-main na musika ay ang Halavira Fuera Pasma, ay orihinal na komposisyon ng aming superintendent na si Dr. Jessie M. Gomez.
Natuto kaming gumawa ng video dahil sa hamon ng nakaraang school year.
So, anong mga hamon na inyong kinaharap last school year?
Ang number 1 na hamon ay ang kakulangan ng budget para sa mga printed modules. Pero may naisip ang aming dibisyon na ideya dahil may mga gadgets na rin katulad ng cellphones, TV, tablets, laptops, DVD players ang karamihan ng aming mag-aaral. Napag-isipang mag-video lesson production kami. Maski walang TV station sa aming lugar, gumamit kami ng flash drive para kopyahan ng video lessons na iti-play ng mga bata sa gadgets. Kaya nagkaroon kami ng pagsasanay sa scriptwriting, hosting at videography. Ang galing naman! May connection ba inyong karanasan noong pandemya sa inyong sayaw? Aba, opo! Sa aming sayaw, ipapakita namin ang isang hamon na dumating sa isang tribu. Kung paano sila nanghina sa umpisa, kaya sila ay bumangon, lumaban, nagtagumpay at nagdiwang. Ang kanilang sigaw sa kanilang pagdiriwang ay Halavira Fuera Pasma.
Aba, mukhang nakakaaliw iyan. Sige nga, ipakita niyo ang mga talento ng mga taga-Region 6 Division of Pasay City.